A cup, but that batch run, so proceed. Dinner in the West End, 'cause there's no women Jen won't need. Think yo like a Del Sol, man, I set fire to the rain when I roll deep.
Let me take you up a level. Let me take you up a level.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to round two, the quarterfinals of the IIHF 2020 Esports Fan Championship. I am Drew Goldfarb, joined by my good friend Nick DeMeo. Nick, we are now past the round of 16. We have narrowed the field down to 8, and we're going to have two matchups coming up today to narrow that field down even further as we head towards the semifinals and open up the quarterfinals here in this fantastic tournament. It's great to be back with you again as we were late in the last round. So, what are you most looking forward to today? Because we have got a really nice matchup on our hands.
We do, and if my math serves correctly, we have eliminated half of the field so far, and my third grade math is always an A+, but nevertheless, we are starting off a great matchup here this morning. Good to be here alongside with you, and I'm looking forward to some great hockey. We saw some amazing competition in the round of 16, and it's only going to get better as the teams become more and more competitive, more and more chess match taking place, and I think this is going to be one for the record books.
Russia, a team that managed to pretty much breeze through their opening round. Norway picking up the win over Switzerland in the opening round as well. So interesting to see what they could do against a team like the Russian duo that we're going to be seeing in this one. Serg and Mahoney, a really tough duo to take down. So Norway has their hands full if they want to get to the semifinals today. Yeah,
they definitely do. As we have the bracket up here, you saw Russia just going to work in the aggregate on 24-8 versus Kazakhstan. A little bit tougher for Norway to get by 10-18, but nevertheless, they're both here. And I think the aggregate might be a little bit closer than what some of the scores we saw were in the round of 16, Drew.
Yeah, we definitely have a lot of really good matchups looking forward to on both sides of the bracket. You could see the games that are coming up tomorrow, the games that are coming up today, starting, of course, with Norway and Russia. Russia's margin of victory, a pretty big one, 16 goals over the course of 4 games. So average margin of victory of 4 in that first round. That is a lot for a team like Norway to try to overcome. But they did take down a Switzerland team, and they won by an average of 2 goals a game. So they're not, the matchups that we're going to see in this round are all teams that have had to win international competition so far. That's how you get from the opening round of 16 to the quarterfinals, is you have to win a matchup. So you're looking at players here and teams that have each picked up a win in this tournament so far. And you're not in a situation where anyone might be cold or might be coming off of, playing within their own nation. This is a team that took down another country just a few days ago, both Russia and Norway. So interesting to see what they could do here, as one will become 2-0 and the other will be 1-1 and have their tournament come to a close.
That's right. And as you said, one has to move on. And I kind of like this 4-game aggregate series across both consoles. It really does show. And as we talked about in the previous broadcast, it's a team effort to get to the next round. And you can't have one bad game here. You have to be good all 4 games. And that's going to be the key. Even if you lose one, if it's close, you can make it up by winning another one at a larger margin to move ahead to the next round.
Yeah, and for those of you who may be joining us for this tournament for the first time, what's going to happen is each nation is represented by a player on the PlayStation side and a player on the Xbox side. The PlayStation players play 2 games apiece. Xbox players play 2 games apiece. They'll alternate back and forth. And at the end of game number 4, the total score across all 4 games is the final score of the series. So you have to win that. And if it's tied, we get something I'm hoping we get to see at some point during this tournament, which is that golden goal where it comes down to which player can score the first goal, the earliest goal in game time on their console for their respective country.
Yeah, I don't know. The covering and production aspect of that might be a challenging one.
That's handled on your end, so it's fine.
All on my side, but the action will be really, really exciting if we do ever see that. I don't know if we will, but I'm kind of hoping internally as a broadcaster that we get to have some fun there.
Want to be part of history anytime you could do it. I was there for the 20-plus round shootout, in the longest in NHL history. Florida Panthers played in that one. So that was the longest workday I think I ever had while I was with that team. But it was worth it at that point to be able to say that I was there, that we were there watching literally every single player on the bench get to shoot and then some. They had a repeat
Yeah.
But this matchup here, Russia and Norway, is going to be an interesting one. It is the first of 4 in the quarterfinals that we have for you today. 2 today and 2 tomorrow. And we have a great breakdown for you to kind of give you a preview of what to expect when these teams square off today.
Russia versus Norway. In the first round, Russia was able to dominate Kazakhstan by a combined score of 24-8. Serge took out Evgeny Gavrilov by scores of 6-2 and 5-4, while his partner Mahoney had a much easier time with Diaz winning by a score of 4-1 and 9-1 as they booked their ticket to the quarterfinals. They'll meet Norway in the quarterfinals with Larsto and Bacon, who were able to upset Switzerland, defeating Original Snooze and Amnesia. Considered to be the underdogs in their matchup, Larsto was able to beat Original Snooze by a score of 5-2 and 5-4, while Bacon took out Amnesia 4-1 and 4-3. It will be interesting to see how Russia deals with Norway, as their first round opponent against Kazakhstan offered little resistance, while Norway was able to hold Switzerland, again the favorite, to only 10 goals in their 4 matches. While Russia did seem to be the more offensively gifted team, scoring 24 goals in 4 games, Norway had a stiffer competition, and it'll be interesting to see how this quarterfinal matchup will play out. Norway, who has never placed in the final 4 of a world championship, will get its shot on the virtual ice if they can take out the duo of Serge and Mahoney and the Russians. On the other hand, Russia has medaled 12 times in the last 20 years in the IIHF World Championships. It'll still be considered an upset if Norway was to move on in the quarters. The matchup between Larsto and Serge proves to be the closest, as they are both competitive players on NHL Gamer. It could come down to Bacon versus Mahoney as to who is going to decide this entire series. Either way, this is going to be one of the more interesting matchups that we're going to witness in the quarterfinals.
So again, we're going to be alternating back and forth PS4, Xbox One, PS4, Xbox One. So as we take a look at our first matchup that we're going to see as Russia takes on Norway here in the quarterfinals, we've got Serg taking on Larsto and Nick. These are each players that had to go through 6 opponents just to qualify for this tournament to represent their own country. So these guys are already pretty battle-tested.
Battle-tested for sure, and it was the word I had in my head, so we must share a same brain after calling dozens of games together so far. But it's proof that the round of 16 that you saw televised here in broadcast was not the first step into this matchup. No, they had to go through qualifying rounds to even represent their country and to have a chance to do so here on the grandest stage of them all. And they do so with a lot of battle reps, as you mentioned, a lot of experience so far, kind of getting a feel for the international ice, getting a feel for the teams that they're going to be selecting. And that's also something we should probably talk about, Drew, is the team selection is interesting as well.
Yeah, because it's something where in order to make the playing field fair, because there are only so many NHL players from certain countries, you've got basically an NHL roster top to bottom when you're talking about Canada, the US, Russia, Sweden also in there. You've got plenty of hockey players in the NHL at that level that are going to rate well in this video game for the Czech Republic and a couple more for other teams as well. But in order to make things fair, rather than forcing teams to only play as their country and maybe give an unfair advantage to a team like Canada, US, Russia, and Sweden, you're allowed to pick any team that you want to play as, but only once over the bracket portion of the tournament. So when you use a team in a round for a matchup, you've got to be strategic because you cannot access that team yet again. So we're going to see here when Russia plays Norway, it's going to be Canada for Russia against the US for Norway, because that's the teams that these guys are picking to represent them to play with in the second round.
That's right. And it took a little bit of getting used to for us. I called a game on Friday and then one with you again on Saturday. And it took a couple of reps, but I promise as we proceed through this coverage, if you're new to joining us through this IIHF 2020 Esports Fan Championship, it will all make sense, and obviously we'll do our best to help that along as most as we can, and we'll explain to you how that works up. You'll also see some things on the screen, Drew, and I want to point this out, of the team representing the team that they're playing as. So we try to make it as easy as possible for you to follow along and to make the action as exciting as possible too.
Absolutely. And yeah, that will be on your screen, both showing the nation on the same side of the screen that shows the team that they're actually playing as well as the aggregate score to that point. So obviously for the start of game number 1, it'll begin as 0-0. But once we get to games 2, 3, and 4, that aggregate score will continue to count up as the goal scoring continues for both teams in this series. So it'll start as 0-0 for game number 1, but we know it'll be at least 1-0, if not more high scoring than that, as we go into that first Xbox game on the aggregate score. So just it would be something to kind of pay attention to. It is a little thing to get used to the first time, but I think it'll be, and we will do our best to try and communicate that as well. So this way that there is as little confusion as is physically possible. The Xbox matchup is what's coming up after that. That is games 2 and 4. So the Xbox players, Mahoney and Bacon, will be the ones that are tasked with closing out the series. So they kind of are, they're that cleanup hitter in this lineup here. They're also the number 2 hitter. So their job is both to advance the runner and then to bring him home 2 batters after that. It really doesn't work as a baseball analogy when they're only talking about 2 players filling a lineup.
I like what you're doing here. I approve of the different sports references as we bring everyone together right now from all walks of different countries. But yes,
it is tag team wrestling. That is what we're going.
Who gets the hot tag next,
I was
right?
about to say that, yes.
So what's interesting about this, Drew, is like you mentioned, we're starting with PlayStation 4. So they're going to set the tone of how that looks like for the next their next teammates to come in and then play that position of, okay, if you're up by 2, you have to kind of manage the game a little bit. If you're only down by 1, you pretty much have an even game ahead of you. You just got to get a quick score early. If you got 5 to make up, then you have a little bit of work ahead of you. And that's going to be the interesting thing to watch, is maybe some players who haven't played in this format before and are used to controlling a game slower. Maybe they don't score as many goals. If you're down because of what happened in the previous game, you have a lot of work to do, and you have to change your play style to make up for whatever you need to make up for.
Absolutely. We're getting a tone set in that opening game for the PS4 players, Serg versus Larsto. And then, yeah, you've got to respond. If it's a 3-2 game, all you have to do is win, and then you're at least tied if you're down 3-2, for instance, after game number 1. But if you do have that hole, which we have seen pop up at different points in the series, it's not always after game 1. It's the series that we covered. I believe that opened up at the end of game number 3, in fact. So there's a situation where it's kind of, if you're going to fall in that hole, you might as well do it on the first half, but give yourself as much time to get back into it as you can. But you've got to play not just to win your individual game, which, by the way, all 4 players so far have won each of their 2 individual games in this series. So a combined 8-0 among these 4 players when they played their first round matchups: Russia against Kazakhstan and Norway against Switzerland. All 4 of the players that we're featuring today won all of their games.
And that's pretty interesting, because that tells you one thing here, Drew. A, great talented players that we're about to watch on the ice taking on each other, which is not always the case of what we see in the round of 16, as the bracket kind of ends up being the bracket. The second thing we see here is something has to break. Somebody's going to lose a game. And then what do you do as a team to respond? And what do you do if you lose, say, game number 1, and then you have game number 3 where you have something to prove for your country? So a lot of different little storylines to tell as we move through this quarterfinal matchup.
Absolutely. And it's one of those things, though, where in this format with the aggregate scoring system, you only have to win 1 game in order to possibly advance to the next round. You just have to win that one by a large enough margin to overcome any losses that you had previously. So it's not quite as important that one of these players improved to 4-0 in their individual games, because if you're only winning 2-1 or 3-2, it may not be enough to put your team over the hump, even if your partner goes 1-1.
That's exactly right. And it looks like we're getting underway here in just a second. I'm going to bring you this action here momentarily. It's going to be quick, and I'm looking forward to it.
All right. So Team Canada, they will be in the white jerseys. That is representing the Russian team of Serg and Mahoney. On the other side, Team USA, dressed in their dark blue jerseys, that is going to be representing Norway. And in this case, it will be Larsto. So Serg going up, Larsto going down. The second round of the IIHF 2020 Esports Fan Championship is underway. And very quickly, it's Team Russia getting offensive zone possession and just trying to play a little bit of keep away. Patrick Kane missing with the body check there in the corner. Just great individual moves here, getting it down low to McDavid, just finding space and making sure that they make as much as they can. McDavid with a little bit of time and space, spinning away from Matthews, and Austin Matthews from Arizona with a nice steal there. Pass from Kane and then getting it back again and then finally dumping it in to the corner here. About 3 minutes gone by in period number 1. No shots on goal, but now a penalty coming, and Team Canada, the Russian team playing as Serg is playing, will be going to the power play.
That's exactly right, and this is not what you want to see to start your game as we take a look at one of the players from Team US, obviously here, going to the penalty box. And not only that, it's this is a bad way to start. It's a bad momentum shift for a team to go on the penalty kill early, Drew.
So now Canada going down on your screen, they are in the white jerseys, and they will have the power play. Jack Eichel off in the box, and just like that, Sidney Crosby capitalizing with a power play goal. That puts Serg up 1-0.
Yeah, quick strike, quick goal, good face-off power and prowess. That's what you want to do, is win the draws in the offensive zone specifically. And now they're up 1-0. Quick strike and a power play goal. I think this is a good start for the team if you're really trying to look at how to focus on what is about 12 periods of hockey through 4 games. That's my math again working at its finest.
NASA says that's correct.
Right. You want to do your best to control each period. So now you're up by 1. Now you have to keep on that lead, but then you're in a good position to take a couple of risks to not lose too much.
And also goes to show just how big special teams play can be in a matchup like this, because that just literally took a face-off win right off of the start of a power play, and suddenly it is a 1-0 contest as Crosby re-entering the offensive end. Doughty cross-ice D-to-D pass. That shot on goal covered up and held for a whistle, as Larso just trying to slow things down a little bit here after giving up that goal and a really quick offensive chance.
Yeah, it looks like the pressure's on right now for Team Norway here. They're on their heels a little bit to start the first quarter of this first period.
Again, Team Canada, Team Russia controlling off the faceoff, but a nice steal down low by Larsto, and that will start the puck the other way, but unable to establish any zone presence. It's now back in Team Canada's end offensively. That quick shot from Morgan Riley stops right in front of the crease. Pick back up, spinning backhander, and it ends up wide and in the corner. Puck pushed on goal. Ben Bishop just reaching back and covering up, because that was dangerous, as that one just snuck right between his legs on a shot from right along the goal line.
Those are those plays you don't really draw up, and they kind of just happen haphazardly. We see that again here, and luckily the goaltender able to cover it up and keep that puck out of the net for a second time so far.
Larso able to win the draw and exit the zone. Nice move to get around an attacker. Centering feed on the forehand, and he scores. We are all tied up under 7 minutes into this game, and it is now a 1-1 contest and a 1-1 overall score.
Are we going to see an offensive shootout here, Drew? It's going to be crazy. That was a quick response by Sergei to bring that together and really take advantage of the quick pass off the faceoff, and now you got a goal.
Interesting note about Blake Wheeler, who gets credit for that goal in this game. He was the first draft pick, I believe, of Wayne Gretzky when he was with the then Phoenix Coyotes.
I like your
Had
fun
a long
facts.
career since then. Yeah,
I like it.
I believe he was actually 17, about to turn 18 when he was drafted. He was like he was the youngest player, I believe, in that draft. Called a reach at the time. He's been fantastic in the NHL since. Quick shot from Jonathan Taves off the feed from, I think that was Brent Burns down low. But a save is made by Ben Bishop, and he'll cover up with 12:16 to go. Gotta always throw in some random tidbits. I don't have any interviews with any junior hockey coaches or Pee Wee or Bantam or anything like that. But so not quite Pierre Maguire. But 1-1 game here, about 8 minutes in, as Norway able to clear the zone and move in to the offensive end. Gensel just could not quite get the pass and corral it as it now moves back the other way. Opportunity here for Russia, trying to retake the lead is Serg. He's up against the boards, gets it back for Pietrangelo. Press, gets it down low. 2 passes, and Mitch Marner pushes it towards the slot. Taylor Hall chasing it down along the boards, back up top on that pass. Hall will scoop it back up on the loose puck after a big hit, and Pietrangelo ripping a slap shot from way up top in the offensive end. Ben Bishop is there to make the stop.
Interesting to see here what you're kind of witnessing on the ice as it happens here for Team Canada, controlled obviously here by Team Russia, is a lot of puck possession with quick passes. That's going to be something to watch for if they can open up some lanes.
That was a big opportunity there, but a good read by Team Norway, making that intercept and that centering pass towards the low slot area. Serg has done an amazing job so far in the face-off circle. I believe he's now up to 6 wins in 8 attempts. And it was, of course, what led to his power play goal was a face-off win. Here's a chance. Patrice Bergeron feeding down McDonough. Cross ice for McDavid, and that one poked away by Larsto, and well played. Carlson up for Matthews. Austin Matthews now in the offensive end trying to feed it back, but read and intercepted as Serg gets there and slows things down with a couple spin moves. But his pass picked off and moving back the other way. Back to trading possession a little bit. Now in a feeling out process after that really quick start. As Serg now trying to set up in the offensive end. This is Bergeron down low, trying to wrap it around. The save is made by Bishop, and Huberdeau could not get to it as it's moved back out by Larsto, and a quick turnover in neutral ice. Austin Matthews with possession. Nice little move to get through 2 defenders. Rips a wrister on goal, but Carey Price makes the glove save and will play it out. Kachuk is there, picking it up, dropping it back, and now down low. What will happen here is Norway with some good offensive zone presence, spinning feed in front. Matthews couldn't quite corral it initially, gets it back, now down low. Austin Matthews spinning towards the backhand. Good defense, just getting in there for Serg and not allowing that backhand shot to go on goal, and it creates a rush the other way as Huberdeau with a couple passes, and it's now Steven Stamkos with possession in the offensive end. Doughty with it at the point. He's going to move in, get it to Stammer. Stamkos, cross-ice feed. He was looking for that one-timer, and it was read and intercepted. So now here in the final 60 seconds of period number 1, what can Norway do? A backhander on goal. Price makes the save. Doesn't hang on as he plays it back out. Taves will scoop it up. Stamkos exiting the zone. Final 10 seconds are in real time here. Can Russia or Norway pick it up an offensive opportunity to close out the period? Phil Kessel in the offensive zone. The feed across the ice was intercepted as Phil the Thrill tried to make that nice little touch pass across the slot, but just could not get it all the way through as we close out the first period tied at 1.
Yeah, tied at 1 for sure as we head back into the studio here. Interesting to see what happened at the beginning of that period, and then now at the end of the period, more of a slower process, high action, but then not a lot of stuff happening in the middle of the ice to generate a goal or an offensive scoring chance.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's always interesting when you see that feeling out process come out, because you sometimes will see it right off the top of the game and the teams kind of get a feel for each other, and then sometimes you'll see that offensive explosion happen immediately. And then it goes back to being a feeling out process when things settle down a little bit. We're like, okay, basically, we've had our fun. Now it's time to actually kind of see what strategy we're going to use long term, because I tried to just go, run and gun and see if I could just, knock a couple in, but ended up being even. So let's chill out for a little bit and see where things go.
Yeah, for sure. And it's interesting to see when that happens and what the players do in response to that. As we're trying to bring you back this feed here, we had a little bit of a technical glitch on the feed end here. And we'll be bringing you some coverage here shortly as we get you back on the ice as soon as possible. It looks like we may have had a disconnect, but I'm not sure. Stand by for that. But yeah, quick action so far to start that game, and then a lot of great passes and a lot of missed chances.
Yeah, and that's kind of just, you expect some of that, especially in the first game. We are in the second round. These guys have played a lot of competitive hockey to get to this point as we went through. But you're still facing an opponent for the first time, possibly ever, unless you've been playing, friendlies or other international competition. So you're going to have that feeling out process. You're going to have a little bit of trying to see what you can almost get away with against your opponent. So you're going to see some of that when you take that risk. It's not so much as a risk as it is an effort to see what works and what doesn't against the opponent that you're playing, because you may have an amazing strategy in the offensive end where your passing crisply might have worked in the previous round. You might have been able to take out Switzerland or Kazakhstan by doing certain types of passes, certain types of plays, but you get to a new round, a new opponent, and a new style of defense, a new style of offense. They may be more aggressive. They may be less aggressive. They may play towards the corners. They may play towards the points. You've got to figure out what's going to be open for you. And that is going to take a couple chances, maybe throwing some passes just to see if that works against the strategy your opponent presents.
You got to dip the toe, Drew, right? Dip the toe,
Yeah,
see what's
exactly.
going to happen, test the water a little bit. And it's something we mentioned at the end of the last series we called with a lot of cross crease opportunities happening and
Mhm.
going in for, I believe it was Team Sweden, if I'm not mistaken, or Team Finland, if I'm not mistaken. So, that can happen. And then you go into the next round and you have somebody that can play the cross crease extremely well with tie
Yep.
ups, bumping people out of position, full collapsing. Okay, now you have to change your strategy. Go to the point, maybe work half boards down low and find that moving third forward to come into the zone. A lot of things happening here that I'm noticing on the ice as someone who's called a lot of these esports games so far. And I can see a slight change from Sergey to kind of wheel this in and control what's happening now. And then Larsto is taking advantage of some speed in the neutral zone. So it's fun to watch this inner chess match of the chess match take place.
Sergey, the youngest of the 4 competitors we're going to have in this matchup, 21 years of age, from St. Petersburg in Russia. I like that they provide these interviews with all of these players, just kind of a series of questions to kind of get to know them a little bit better. And it's interesting to see the favorite NHL title for each of these players because you have dramatic differences in preference. Where in this case, Sergey's favorite NHL 04, which is the last one before the 0405 NHL lockout. So that was for the 2003-2004 NHL season. So you're talking about a game that is at this point 16 going on 17 years old,
Oh, I feel
a
old.
classic. Uh, didn't mean to do that to you necessarily, but it's interesting because for Sergey, for someone who's 21 years old, to have that as a favorite, it points to me. It's kind of like for me, NHL 95 on the Sega Genesis was my first hockey game. So it's one of those things where, yeah, I may have been, 6 or 7 when I got that game for the first time, but it's a classic and it's what brings you in. And on the other side, for Larsto, you're looking at NHL 09. So you're getting more towards the modern era, more towards the modern consoles as far as that goes. I believe that would have been on the previous generation of console, like the PS3, Xbox 360 era.
Yeah.
So kind of interesting to see. And then on the other side, you've got for the Xbox gamers, for Mahoney, favorite titles NHL 03. So going back even
Wow.
further. And then you've got Bacon, who basically just appreciates every change, every update, every bit of growth because it is hard to go back. NHL 20 being his favorite title. And anyone who grew up playing GoldenEye on N64 and has tried to play it at any point in the last 10 years kind of knows that you get used to modern graphics and modern controls really quickly when you try to go back to a game that might be from the 90s, from the early 2000s. So I appreciate the honesty from Bacon going with NHL 20 and saying, yeah, I don't want to give up the modern game controls or the modern graphics for, the game GoldenEye, where you had to play with a rule that no one could be odd job because it was too hard to aim if you're going competitively. So I can appreciate something that it's interesting to kind of see that gamut being run though, where it's a mix between classics, like universally loved editions of the game, and give me an HL 21, waiting for another few months. That'll be my favorite game 3 months from now. I can appreciate all of those kinds of answers.
Yeah, for sure. And I was the kid at that age playing GoldenEye where I put up the cardboard in the middle of the TV so my brother couldn't see me put proximity mines everywhere in the basement. Everywhere in the basement.
See, it's funny because my brother was always a Nintendo guy, so he liked GoldenEye. I think he had GoldenEye, but the game that we really liked playing head to head that I think was better was on the GameCube. It was it The World Is Not Enough or one of those games. It was but I remember there being an outdoor competitive level where it was in the snow with mountains on the side to provide the barriers, and there were 2 buildings, one on each end, and you could basically just play like distance, and you would be able to get in like helicopters that were miniature and like remote pilot them to the other side. Uh, I think that it's one of those things where I think the graphics on that one, again, it's a game I haven't played in 15 years, so may fall under the same kind of thing as GoldenEye, but I think that one might hold up a little bit better here long term. Still working on trying to get the feeds back, trying to have the players reconnect and see if that's going to go there for the PS4 side. It is 1-1 at the end of one period. Sidney Crosby, a power play goal to open up the scoring, and then Blake Wheeler responding for Team Norway playing as Team USA in this matchup. So I guess if you're looking for a nice part of it or a decent aspect of it, at least it's an intermission when that happens, because it's one of those things where when you have that disconnect and it boots you out and you're like, wait, was there 8:12 left, or was there 10 minutes left, or what was the deal? You're in the middle of a play, the fairness of that kind of thing. The teams were in the locker rooms when this happened. That's always it. If it's going to happen, I guess better to have it happen in a situation like that, where at the very least the exact moment and no one got a rush interrupted or anything like that.
Yeah, and I have the official rule here, so just to keep you in the know of what's going to happen, we're going to restart this game in the second period, so it'll be 1-1 in the second period at the top of the second. The teams will play 2 periods, culminating in 3 total periods played. And once they finish that, the winner will be determined by obviously who has the most goals. If they are still tied at the end of this new second period, then third period, we will play the third period as an overtime. So that counter at the bottom, that period, what number it is, may not be accurate.
Bug.
Yeah, it may not be accurate for you, but we will make sure we keep you in the know of what's going on as it progresses here today.
Definitely. I believe the teams have found each other, at least in the lobby, to set up a game here to get back to playing head-to-head. So, yeah, 1-1. And that's also a nice thing, I guess, if you're going to be in that situation, so that this way there's no confusion. If one team was leading after a period, you don't have to go, oh, but, I'm actually up. You just add 1 to each of the scores that you're going to see on your screen. That's exactly where we are. It is a tie game after 20 minutes of play. The one thing that is going to be different because of the disconnect and stoppage in the restart is that the final minute of what will be the third period will not be a real-time minute, only the final 10 seconds. So you do end up losing about 20 seconds, give or take, maybe 15 seconds, give or take, of time in that closing minute of period number 3. But considering that the teams are starting from an even standing, it's 1-1. There isn't really an advantage. No one's trailing on the scoreboard right now that is going to go, man, if only I had the extra 20 seconds, because they're both starting from the same exact position. This isn't trying to dig into someone's comeback efforts.
Exactly. And as all the games that we've called some crazy sixes games in the past, and that extra 20 seconds sometimes really mattered, sometimes didn't. As you saw, we had people drop out in the middle of a period. So I feel like this is the most equal playing we can give the players for restarting this. And, with everything going on in the world right now, with connectivity, everyone online wanting to play their favorite games, wanting to play some great NHL 20, this is always something we contend with. But nevertheless, I think they're just about set to go. But I think we'll be switching it up yet again on our viewers at home, as we'll be covering, I believe Canada may be going north on your screen.
Yes. So a very interesting thing, because I had that feed up as well, keeping an eye on that. And the lineup changes made by Serg were very interesting. When I was looking at it, the more interesting ones, some of it moving Marchand to center, moving Crosby to the wing, which is fine. The more interesting ones, though, were the defense, where all 3 right defenseman positions are going to be filled by forwards, with the way that he was updating his lineup. Also did bench Marc-Andre Fleury to get as the backup goalie to have a substitute in there as well. I believe that got him about a 2 overall bump in net for his backup. But the teams have relocated each other. They're going to go head-to-head, and we are ready here, as it'll be Patrice Bergeron going up in the white for Team Russia, Team Canada, taking on Team USA, which is Team Norway. So it is a 1-1 game in the second period. On your screen, it will show you something slightly different, but again, keeping track of that counter to show the total scoring over the course of the series will help you out in knowing what the exact score of this game is at the moment. This is game 1 of 4, as Team Russia has an offensive zone possession here, just trying to play a little bit of keep away from Johnny Gaudreau. Good poke check, though, but Nathan MacKinnon scooping up the puck for Serg, and now moving back, giving it back to Bergeron. Bank pass in for MacKinnon, and Bergeron will scoop it up again as MacKinnon was forced off the puck. Doughty trying to center, getting it across for Bergeron, winds and fires. That was redirected by McDavid in front, and I believe Serg had changed to him as well to try to get that manual tip. Didn't get it to go, but he still has possession in the offensive end, trying to poke at it, but Ben Bishop grabbed it and then played it on ahead to his teammate. Kane up for Gaudreau in the offensive end now. About 5 minutes gone by, nearly 5 minutes gone by here in the second period of play. It is a 1-1 contest, so it is a tied-up game as Bergeron in the offensive end in the top left corner gives it to Crosby on the right side. Sidney Crosby moving behind the net, trying to circle with that backhander. Scheifele with the rebound chance, shot it through the blue paint all the way across, as Mark Scheifele just could not capitalize. Had some open net, but a really difficult angle on that opportunity. Crosby in the offensive end just backing in and away from a defenseman, but loses possession of the puck. Good job staying with it by Larstow there. Trying to get it in the offensive end. Will, but it'll be dumped in as Morgan Riley chases it down. One of those players that getting moved around by the strategy of Sergei. Feed up for Sagan. Now Crosby, Scheifele, spin move, trying to get it across for Sagan, but it was a little bit behind him. And that allows Lars to pick things up and try to move out. Dylan Larkin and Max Pacioretty in the neutral zone. Quinn Hughes getting into the offensive end, picking it back up, trying to make the pass over, but it was intercepted, and Jonathan Huberdeau moved things out as we are now midway through this contest, halfway through period number 2 of a 1-1 game. Larkin trying to get it back, dropping it back towards Wheeler, but it was read and intercepted as Scheifele plays it to Huberdeau. Now up for Tyler Sagan, skating in 1-on-2. He'll go towards the corner, try to slow things down as Russia got a line change going, unable to set things up in the offensive end, but a nice steal by Sagan in neutral ice to get it right back. Seeing a now a lengthy feeling out process. Is a nice intercept there by Miller. We'll move it into the offensive end, trying to get it towards being on goal. No penalty there as he just lost possession of the puck, and it's moved out by Sergei. Stamkos to Huberdeau. Rivals in the NHL, teammates on Team Canada. Huberdeau loses possession, but swooping in to scoop it up was Jonathan Taves. And now played back to the point, quick shot taken, and it's shouldered aside. Wraparound chance on the backhander, and Ben Bishop again getting there, covering up this time for a whistle with 5:36 to go in the second period of play.
I don't know if we had a face-off since the beginning of that stint there. It was a lot of action happening really quick and finally slowing things down. Nevertheless, Ben Bishop finally holding on to the puck instead of throwing it out, which could be dangerous here in this quarterfinals.
Sean Monahan, the forward, playing right D, getting that feed from Doughty and taking a quick shot, but again covered up by Bishop. Yeah, I don't think I was able to breathe. I couldn't get it at any point during that first dozen minutes of this second period. There just was not a stoppage. Taylor Hall scooping the puck up off the draw. It goes to Monahan, and now Hall along the goal line behind the net, looking for that backhand wraparound. Thinks better of it. Feeds Mitch Marner back down for Hall. Down low behind the net. Hall wrapping it around, trying to stuff it in, but Bishop again getting there and covering up with 4:01 to go in the period.
Yeah, a lot of back and forth. You said the feeling out process. What I'm seeing here is you see the line changes happening on the ice. People trying to keep their lines fresh to not get beat with speed, and you'll see that a lot more during the game.
Nice intercept there by Sergei and Taylor Hall. Played back to Monahan, D to D. As Doughty's shot got turned aside. Huge save made by Ben Bishop. It was a difficult one, and he didn't make it look too easy either, but he made the save, and that was what's important. Monahan in the offensive end. Mitch Marner down low. One-time feed. Drew Doughty tucks it in, and it's a 2-1 game.
As we hear some excitement happening there. 2-1 for sure. And that's a great goal. I think he was looking for that a couple of times through the game so far. Finally connected on one, Drew. And now they're up 2-1.
Beautiful passing that just results in that goal for Drew Doughty, and it is now a 2-1 game. So the lead returns to Team Russia, represented by Team Canada in this matchup, against Team Norway, represented by Team USA in this matchup. And again, Canada wins the draw here and will enter the offensive end. Nice little spin move by Monahan, played back for Doughty, who has the goal, the most recent goal for his team. Crosby the other one. Monahan dumping it in. Nathan McKinnon scoops it up in the corner and plays it back up top for Doughty. Doughty cross ice looking for Bergeron. Eichel was there and made that read to just stop the pass and shot in its tracks. Goudreau trying to center, dangerously close to Carey Price, but Doughty getting in there as Sergei able to clear the zone and clear the puck out of harm's way. Break in the other way. Final 5 seconds. What can they do? Centered for Eichel, and that one was kicked away by Carey Price as we are done with period number 2, and it is a 2-1 lead in favor of Sergei and Team Russia.
Yeah, that's a good lead to come out of the elongated intermission rather, and get yourself a goal before the end of the period. As you can see there, a lot of quick action, but only one shot registered in that period by Larstow, and he sees himself trailing here as we go into the third period of this first game, Drew.
Going to be interesting to see how he responds to that. Sometimes if you're held to just one shot, it can be demoralizing, and sometimes it can be motivating and just bring your offense out. Eichel trying to make that long pass ahead. Kane trying to chase it down. It was touched by Drew Doughty for an icing, 19:13 to go. It looked like that was going to be a really close race, and the fact that the puck was just pushed towards the blue paint was a little bit frightening at first if you are Sergei, but there was, of course, that whistle as the faceoff in the offensive end is won by Sergei, and now Patrice Bergeron down low. Behind the net, circling with it. Cross-ice feed, was looking to get it across, but it was read and intercepted. Good job there by Larsto. And now a nice little spin move in the offensive end. A feed for Patty Kane, and on the rebound, it is knocked in. This game is all tied up.
And that was a great read by Sergei to play defense and try to shut down that low pass to shot. He did so, but that second, third little scrum effort happening in the blue paint luckily benefited Larsto. Unfortunately, Sergei couldn't make the save on those second and third chances, and now we're tied up again.
And it looks like Drew Doughty on the animation was one who knocked it in. I don't know if that'll be credited to Patrick Kane. He was right in there down low with it. I don't know if he also managed to touch it. But yeah, 2-2 here. It will go to Kane on that one. We are tied up here now early in this third period, which that's just kind of the way this game is going. It's been 1-1. It is now 2-2, and we have an offside with 17:13 to go. And a little frustration there from Sergei on going offside.
Yeah, a little bit of frustration there, and you know, I'd be frustrated too. You don't want to go offside, especially when you got a good rush going on there.
Austin Matthews leading the opportunity here for Larsto, dumping it in deep. Good job chasing it down behind the net. Crosby with that pin as Sergei trying to just eliminate this offensive chance here for Team Norway. Nice steal right behind the net, and that breakout pass goes up for Crosby. Well defended by Larso to force that back, but now here's Scheifele the offensive end, banking it off of the left leg pad of Carey Price. Jake Gensel trying to enter the offensive end, but he gets knocked down right at the blue line, can't get it in the zone, and now Mark Scheifele will enter the offensive end for Sergei, playing it back up top. Offensive opportunities, the defenseman just charging in here on the rush. They've got 4 players down low as Crosby getting back, and now Scheifele as well to get up high. Quick chance down low, but Bishop in position makes the save with 13:08 to go in regulation time.
And as you saw there, he drove all the way down behind the net, tried to buy some time, spread some players out, drove the net, and luckily for Larsto, he was able to make the poke check right into the glove of Bishop.
Face-off won by Larso, and now he's moving into the offensive end for his team and for Team USA, Team Norway in this contest. Stamkos now with possession, moving the other way. Gets into the zone onside, but has to circle back to the neutral zone. Really good positioning there defensively by Lars, forcing him to get back out. But Huberdeau now in the offensive end plays it back for Doughty, who has a goal in this game. Doughty, low, forehand shot, trying to go near side, but the blocker save was made by Ben Bishop, and the puck cleared out. Cross-ice pass for Pacioretty. Spin feed for Wheeler, and he got that shot on goal, but Carey Price was there to make the stop. Taylor Hall trying to go between 3 defenders, gets between them, but his shot attempt was slowed down and blocked and cleared out of the zone. Chance the other way. What can Larsto do? Forced to the corner by Doughty. Now circling, trying to get a little bit of space, trying to feed Pacioretty, but that one was off the mark. Pacioretty was too tied up to receive that pass. Sergei trying to retake the lead, and on that beautiful pass, poked in by Taylor Hall, and once again, Team Russia and Sergei holds the lead.
He came into that zone with so much speed. I thought he was just going to drive the net. Instead, pulls up just a bit here, as you see at the top of the circle. Backhand pass, like behind his back to the centerman, and then dishes it down low right there in the point, the slot there for a shot. And that was just a nice little tip on Drew. I didn't think he was going to get all of that. He did, and Bishop couldn't sprawl over to make the save.
Beautiful use of that poke check to just knock that puck in, just to reach out and just knock it. All he had to do was change directions because Bishop just could not get across. And we've got 7 minutes left in this contest. This is period number 3. It is a 3-2 game, and Russia in the lead, pressing yet again down low. Can they make this a 2-goal advantage? Bergeron's shot was blockered down by Ben Bishop and now played out. Patrick Kane in the offensive end, forced to the boards and loses possession. Just holding the puck in the defensive end, but a big turnover then with that long pass attempt in neutral ice. Patrick Kane, cross-ice feed, was looking for Jack Eichel. The pass read and intercepted by Sergei as it's moving the other way. Final 4 minutes. Again, this is period number 3. Only the last 10 seconds will be in real time as the backhand wraparound try is denied. Another pickup of possession by Sergei. Puck pushed towards the front. Bergeron there, circling with it, playing a little bit of keep away, trying to find some kind of passing or shooting lane, but he's just pushed off the puck. Good job by Lars just staying with him on that play and eventually forcing him off the puck, staying patient and not taking a penalty, because at this point in the game, that could spell the end of the opportunity to try to tie this one up in regulation.
And we won't have a fast minute here, so he's got to be mindful of the time as this game winds down.
Taylor Hall behind the net. Yeah, we're only about 20 seconds left in real time because that last minute is sped up. Even though this is the third period, we're playing it in a second. And a quick spin wraparound try, and that one gets knocked in. It is now a 4-2 game as Mitch Marner, I believe he was just positioned right next to the blue paint, redirected that one past Ben Bishop.
Yeah, looking at the replay here, it was something he's been looking for all game, and he was in behind Bishop. I'm not sure how that was not goaltender interference, but nevertheless, Team Russia up 4-2 here as this game comes to a close.
We need to send that one to the boys in Toronto to take a look at. But yeah, final 10 seconds here, long shot taken as this game is going to go to Team Russia. But more importantly, they are now +2 when it comes to the scoring in the series. It is a 4-2 final and 4-2 after one game, according to the aggregate score that we have in this 4-game series. So a great job there by Sergei. It was even throughout, and then we just saw at the very end, just pulling away with those 2 late goals to make it a 4-2 victory and give his team the lead after one game.
Yeah, it was a good effort late in the game by Sergei to kind of rally himself. Looked like he did that after being frustrated from that offsides. He just kind of put himself together and made it happen. So it was impressive to see how he responded and rallied himself to come ahead with the win in that first game. Now, on the other side, if you're Larsto, you put up 2 goals. You're only down by 2 in the aggregate. That is plenty of time and space ahead of you to shore up that gap, especially as we get into the next matchup here in just a moment.
Yep, and coming up later on today, we're going to have another game between Finland and Germany. That is another one of these quarterfinal matchups. The winner of this series will play the winner of Finland and Germany in the semis with a spot in the championship game on the line. So that is going to be quite the series to watch as well.
It will, and we'll talk more about that in just a little bit, but we have our action taking place right now as we are quickly going to be jumping into the next match, Drew. Bringing that to you right now. It's going to be Mahoney for Team Russia versus Bacon for Team Norway.
It's Bacon!
Thought you were waiting for a goal for that, Drew.
We were, but I couldn't help myself. Just had to do that. Advertising is a powerful thing here as we are once again underway, and that centering feed really quickly denied. Yet again, the jerseys are the same. It will be Mahoney for Team Russia wearing the white as Team Canada, and it will be Bacon for Team Norway wearing the blue as Team USA, as Phil Kessel trying to get that one down low to Patrick Kane. But the pass never completed, did not result in a shot on goal. Nathan McKinnon back in the offensive end now for Mahoney. That one centered for McDavid, but shot wide. McKinnon gets it back from Crosby and gets it back to Crosby. Crosby circling away from some pressure, banks around the boards. McKinnon will further it up to Riley. Long shot taken by Doughty, and that one kicked aside easily by Ben Bishop, as Patrick Kane will send it the length of the ice, and that will go for an icing with 16:08 to go here in period number 1.
I do my best not to break the fourth wall too much when we do these broadcasts, Drew, but that was a quick switch, and I stayed on my toes, and I like flying by the seat of my pants, and we are ready for some more hockey, and everything is ready to go for this game number 2.
Remember, if you are flying, you're supposed to wear a face mask at this point.
Right.
It's important for everyone's health as a quick shot is turned aside. I just figured I'd point that out since you said you are flying by the seat of your pants. I wanted to make sure that you had your mask with you and seating far away from others. We're on the other side of the country from each other, so we are proper social distancing for this one. Patrice Bergeron on the offensive end, turning it over as Jack Eichel makes the save. You like how I just worked that into the commentary as Jack Eichel passes to Johnny Gaudreau in the offensive end. Quick shot taken, Price making the save. Can't hang on, can't corral it, so Eichel's still in the offensive end, forced against the boards, and finally stolen away by Mahoney as he plays it out. Puck in the slot, taken by Seth Jones. and cleared out and skated away by Team Norway in the offensive end. 8 minutes gone by, scoreless first period of play. Just spinning with it, trying to find a little bit of a lane is Bacon on that one. Down low, pushed on goal, but again, Price making the save, unable to corral it entirely, but it's played out and skated out by Team Russia as it's dumped into the offensive end. Sagan couldn't chase down his own dump in there, though, and it's moved out by Bacon. Play back for Wheeler and now Goudreau. In the circle, quick shot taken, Price making the save, and then just plays it towards the corner so that his team can clear it out. Team Russia in white going up. They lead 4-2 in this series overall. It is a 0-0 game, no longer. Dylan Larkin, the quick shot from the slot, just winding up and firing the slapper on goal, and Team Norway gets on the board first.
That was a banger. I did not expect that. I was thinking he was going to go wrist, go across the net, beat the goalie. No, he said, I'm putting a rocket behind this puck, and makes a statement as he closes the lead to now being only down by 1 in the aggregate series.
Huge decision on that. Unbelievable, too. He managed to get the defense out of the shooting lane and then wound up and fired a slap shot from maybe 10 feet away, just blasting it past Carey Price on the high glove side. That is an impressive move to pull off in any capacity. As a quick chance the other way from Mahoney to, after the face-off, to resume play here. 7.5 to go in the first period. It is now 1-0 thanks to that Dylan Larkin goal from the slot by Team Norway. Tavares trying to get it down low for Taylor Hall, but read and intercepted. Bacon doing a really good job on that one. Pacioretty trying to find a little bit of room to get into the offensive end, trying to skate around Taylor Hall. Does. Pacioretty, though, losing possession to Brent Burns. Pacific Division NHL rivalry. Opportunity yet here as that centering feed was read and intercepted. That pass intended for Pacioretty, but moved the other way. Tyler Sagan in the offensive zone. Circling back, thinking better of it, as he did not have any passes open and he did not have an opportunity to just dump it in or shoot it on goal. That pass was read and intercepted as Bacon moving it back the other way as we have under 4 minutes to go. Pavelski feeding Tkachuk, and it hit the iron. Beautiful chance there, and he beat everything but the post. Tkachuk, that opportunity generates a rebound, and that one's not going to worry about a post. Joe Pavelski scores, and this series is tied up. It is a 2-0 game.
Bacon is buzzing. Make that hashtag go viral. He is swarming the net right now of Mahoney. The defense can't catch a break. A lot of players moving around all over the ice. And that rebound chance off that kick save, that's going to go in pretty much every time if you can get it. You got to tie up a player, take a stick, do something there, and you can't let Pavelski get past the defenders. As my Howard Cosell for the day, sir.
I appreciate the alliteration, but Bacon is sizzling right now. Might make for the better hashtag on that one. Let us know in the chat. Just tell us, which one are you using? Are you team Bacon is buzzing or Bacon is sizzling? As Bacon re-enters the offensive end here in the final 2 minutes of period number 1. Quick shot blockered away by Carey Price. Jake Gensel trying to center that one, but read and intercepted by Connor McDavid as Mahoney clearing the zone. McDavid in the offensive end. Final minute of period number 1. Centers for Crosby. Shot is blocked. And then the zone cleared, I think, accidentally by Mahoney. McKinnon loses it in the offensive end. Final 6 seconds. Can either team get a shot? Will they even try it? Werenski's going to hold it here. Played up for Gensel. Puck lost. Besser takes the shot at the horn. I don't know if that would have counted if it had beaten Carey Price. But that is it for period number 1. A very good period if you are Bacon, if you are Team Norway, because not only do you hold a 2-0 lead, but your team is tied in the aggregate score.
You know, something I've been talking about a lot through these broadcasts so far in this Esports Fan Championship is managing one period at a time. So now we look at this, right? We're 4-4 in the aggregate. You have 2 more periods to play in this game. It really doesn't matter each end result of a game if you can get ahead in a period because you have 12 periods to work with. So I look at it like this. You're back even, and when you have a fresh game ahead of you, you got to win your next period and one after that if you're Team Norway. On the other side, your Team Russia, I think Mahoney saw a lot of what Bacon can do, and I think that he's starting to kind of shore up that gap in the middle of the ice, and you saw that late in that period so far.
Shots on goal in that first period, 9-1 in favor of Bacon. Bacon hasn't dominated anything quite like that since, I guess, breakfast.
This is why you're Emmy nominated, sir.
And this is just period number 5 of what is going to be a big 12-period broadcast here. 4 games coming your way. This is now a tied series and a 2-0 lead in this contest for Bacon. But in the offensive zone, threatening is Mahoney. And look at the shot so far. That one whistling wide, but the rebound is tucked in. Nathan McKinnon, and this one a 2-1 game. But more importantly, Mahoney has re-given Team Russia the lead in the series.
Yeah, that was really great to see there. I almost looked like he intentionally threw that off the backboard because that missed way high. But however, you see him come back down low, scoop up the garbage, as they say in the Mighty Ducks, and puts one home, gives his team the 1-goal lead now in aggregate.
So we'll see if Bacon is able to respond. Goudreau swooping in off the faceoff in neutral ice. Loses possession, though, trying to make that centering feed as it's moved out the other way by Jonathan Huberdeau. In the offensive end, Huberdeau for Bergeron. Wrist shot blocked by Austin Matthews. Good positioning there by Bacon as he clears the zone, gets it up for Wheeler. Blake Wheeler in the slot, just spinning away, but Scheifele picking his pocket and moving it up. Hands it over to Huberdeau and back for Scheifele. Moving in, low slot, backhander on goal. Bergeron for the rebound chance, but Seth Jones blocking that one and clearing things out of harm's way. Bacon back in the offensive end. Wheeler trying to stay away from Huberdeau's pressure there. Good job there by Jonathan Huberdeau, the computer-controlled player making the steal, and now a nice move to get into the offensive end. Centered, that shot blockered away by Ben Bishop as he had to just sprawl to make the save. Huberdeau down low on the forehand. I think he was trying to make the pass. It pushed off of Bishop's pads. Huberdeau now behind the net, backhander on goal. Bishop will hang on. It's pushed in as he was knocked off the puck by Mark Scheifele. The puck ends up going into the net, perhaps off of Zach Werenski, but that one is not going to count because of that. It was Scheifele's contact that forced that puck free and ended up knocking it in, so that is no goal because of goaltender interference.
I might challenge that one there, Drew. It looked like Bacon actually threw that puck out and it hit in front. So the contact there might have done it too, but you can't throw out the puck. It looked like the animation was starting to have that puck come out and it bounced back behind Bishop and went in. You can't throw out the pucks like this, not with a team that's swarming.
Besser trying to go for that wraparound try, but Carey Price making the glove save on him. Yeah, not sure exactly what it would have been for. There was a lot of goaltender contact in the blue paint, so it may have just been that after he dropped it off, that, as Burns just rings it off the iron there. That one was close. But either way, it's still a 2-1 game and a 1-goal lead in this series for Team Russia. As Russia clears the zone, and now Taylor Hall under 8 minutes to go in the offensive end, feeding Tavares back for Hall, and he shoots it just wide. Drew Doughty keeping in at the point. Tavares down low in the slot, trying to backhand it across, but the teammate he was trying to make that pass to, Mitch Marner, was all tied up. I say teammate because not only are they teammates on Team Canada and in this game, as Gensel is in offside, but of course teammates with the Toronto Maple Leafs.
I like your stats as we work through these games, the little fun tidbits you present there. Some of my favorite things working with you, Drew.
Well, I definitely appreciate that, Nick. It's always nice being able to work with you as well. As in the offensive end was Norway, but forced off the puck. It's held in at the zone. Bacon trying to wind up for that slap shot, but a good block. Patrick Kane rips a wrister. Save is made by Price, and he'll play it to Doughty, and now up to McDavid. Under 5 minutes to go. McDavid, huge speed burst in the offensive end, losing possession of the puck as he was trying to get that one across. Still with possession of the offensive end is Mahoney. Quick wrister from Doughty was blocked. And now just moving around with it is Team Norway as they clear the zone and now get in the offensive end. What can Bacon do with it? Final 3 minutes of this second period of play. Good pressure and steal from Mahoney using Sidney Crosby on that one as the zone is cleared out. Doughty in the offensive zone with McDavid centered, trying to get it to him, but it may have been poked away towards him, but either way, it's scooped up by Team Norway as Bacon will play it towards the boards, try to find a little bit of space. Crosby pressing, so cross-ice pass up for Keith Yandel. Now Pavelski and Patty Kane. 40 seconds left to go in this period. The final 10 seconds real time. Yandel ripping that slap shot. Carey Price making the stop. Pavelski trying to get to it. He can't. Final 8 seconds. We're in real time. Crosby will clear the zone up for Mitch Marner. Can they get one more shot before the period ends? Marner in the slot, pushed off it by Pavelski, and that will do it for period number 2. Only one goal scored in the frame. It was Nathan McKinnon as Mahoney regave the overall aggregate lead to Team Russia.
Yeah, we talk about, like I just said in the intermission, managing your back and forth, managing each period slowly. And I think Mahoney did that. He quelled the storm, got his team up by 1, and it's okay. I think if you lose this game, if the result just stands as is, one more period, nobody scores, you're up by 1 still. So you kind of did your part, especially with all of the pressure that Bacon has been pouring on to Mahoney here through the first 2 periods.
He's been piling on the Bacon. That is what has been happening in this game. I can see your camera right now, that little, like you wanted to laugh initially, but you were trying to hold off on it. As we are underway in period number 3, a 2-1 lead in the game for Bacon and Team Norway, but a 1-goal advantage, 5-4 in favor of Mahoney's Team Russia overall in the aggregate for the series. Now, if we do have a game-tying goal, should Mahoney get on the board, is a quick shot from along the boards, goes on goal, but Price making the save, trying to re-extend that lead and tie things back up in the aggregate. Should this game end up tied as Crosby rips that shot wide, we would have an overtime period played in this game. So that would be obviously a nice situation here if Mahoney is able to tie that up. And they do on the feed. Beautiful little wraparound cross-ice pass for Sidney Crosby, and we are knotted back up in this game.
He wrapped around the net there, as you saw, and came around looking for that front side cross crease pass. Finds it and puts it home. And that's got to be something you shore up here. You can't do that in the quarterfinals and give that much open ice available yet. At this point, if you're playing, this is on the Xbox, so you take the body, right? You hold A, you tie up the guy, you take the risk, get in the lane, and you have to be mindful of that wraparound, then pass. It's dangerous, and people can score quickly on it.
Bacon trying to take a really quick shot on goal after that faceoff. He got it on, but it was turned aside by Carey Price. Now Huberdeau in the offensive end, behind the net, stops, waits, pulling up, trying to maybe look for that cross-crease pass yet again. Huberdeau standing behind the net. Good pressure as he gets that twisting backhander on goal. You can see that Bacon making that defensive zone adjustment as Pietrangelo rips a shot, and that one turned aside and up into the netting or over the netting, and I believe that was picked up by a young lady from Shawinigan.
Thought it was Sheboygan.
It may have been Sheboygan.
Well, now you're tied up, right? So time is on Mahoney's side. He can hold the puck in the offensive zone all he wants to. There's really no downside to that. And Bacon's got to go get him. Now he's playing defense well in front of the net, but now you're down by 2 again in aggregate.
Brad Marchand behind the net, spinning, trying to make that twisting backhander again for Sagan, but yet again, Bacon there to turn that aside. In the offensive end now, 12 minutes to go. Final minute of this third period is real time. Jake Gensel, great steal, feeds Larkin in the slot, but a nice save is made by Carey Price as Mahoney able to clear the zone. Trying to center, Sagan scoops it up, trying to get it back for Marchand. That shot whistled wide, a rebound chance, and again, Sagan putting a couple on goal, but huge saves made as Bacon keeping this game tied at 2.
That was an offensive flurry there, and I was surprised to see that many chances just fall onto the stick of Team Russia. Essentially, just it kept piling back onto their stick. I don't know how it kept happening. Kept shooting it. Bishop lost it for a second, bounced back out, and somehow the wall Ben Bishop keeps the puck out of the net.
Wheeler entering the offensive end. Nice steal to get it back. Trying to get that cross-ice feed for Johnny Gaudreau, but right and intercepted by Drew Doughty as the long pass up from McDavid clears the zone, and McDavid now in the offensive end. McKinnon lost the puck, managed to flip it behind the net. McKinnon in the corner, now behind the net, trying to set up that little cross-crease pass, but you can see the defensive positioning that Bacon was utilizing there. That forced the errant pass and the turnover. He was just the player he was controlling right in front of the net as he gets a quick shot on goal, but Price makes a save and plays it to Morgan Riley. You can see the positioning now. He's not allowing for that. He is just standing directly in front at the top of the blue paint, making sure that that pass is not there. Doughty taking a quick shot. McKinnon may have tipped it, either way, Ben Bishop makes the save and holds on with 6:03 to go in regulation.
And I like Mahoney doing what he just did there, standing in front of Bishop, kind of skating both sides, hoping he passes it out, take advantage of the opportunity. Bacon did not pass it out. Smart play there. Kind of learned his lesson from before, I think.
Good steal by Bergeron, playing it to Brent Burns. D-to-D pass, long slap shot taken and a little bit wide. Clearing the zone is Bacon, but then a turnover in neutral ice. Huberdeau playing it up for Bergeron. Bergeron skating in, trying to center, rips a wrister, but that right leg making the save by Ben Bishop, and now a long pass ahead to Patrick Kane. Holds up just inside of the blue line, but that centering feed for Eichel was right and intercepted. Burns to Scheifele, and now Bergeron. Huberdeau down low. Jonathan Huberdeau on the backhand, banks it off the post and in. Hooby-dooby-doo!
I love the call out. I love, more importantly, what he did there, what Mahoney did to bring that goal home. If we look at the replay here, that forehand, backhand pullback, he beat him dirty on that play.
Gorgeous. And then to use the iron to your advantage and bank it in. That's fantastic for him. And now I believe we're going to get a timeout called by Bacon, who, despite outshooting his opponent 16-13 in this game, now finds himself trailing 3-2 with 3 minutes and 21 seconds to go. So in real time, that's about a minute and 20 seconds, or a minute and 25 seconds of real-time hockey, trying to tie that up and then take it to overtime after that. But you got to get that next goal. Duncan Keith entering the offensive end here for Mahoney, playing it down low, centering feed for Taylor Hall, and that one finds its way into the back of the net. 4-2 game.
That was a quick strike there. Just a lot of traffic in front of the net that netted that goal. And if you're Team Russia, you can't be happier with the opportunity right now. And I think Bacon's got to regroup here and try to get at least one back to keep the team close. Not give up too much of a lead, as we've seen before, Drew. That can lead to bad things for that fourth game.
In this situation, in this game right now, Bacon scored the first 2 goals of the contest, I believe both coming in period number 1. And since then, we have seen 4 consecutive goals scored in response by Mahoney, as he holds a 4-2 advantage. And that centering feed intercepted, well read, as Bacon with the steal though. Kessel to Kane in the slot, can't get the shot away. McKinnon and now McDavid, back from McKinnon, 2-on-1 rush, quick shot taken, shouldered aside by Ben Bishop, and we have less than a minute to play. Ryan Suter up for Kessel, and now Eichel in the offensive end, trying to get one back and trim that lead. It was a 4-2 final in game number 1. We sit at an 8-4 aggregate score with 40 seconds to go in game number 2. McDavid to McKinnon, back for McDavid, the puck loose, Bishop will grab it and then play it to his defense. Patrick Kane for Austin Matthews, and now Phil Kessel back for Matthews. Quick wrister blocked by Doughty in the slot and towards the corner, where it's scooped up by Mahoney. Banked around the boards, up for Jonathan Huberdeau. He has the most recent goal and gets destroyed by Seth Jones. Long shot taken, and Carey Price will swallow that one up and drop it off for Drew Doughty. In the corner, final 10 seconds. Chance for Kessel, and now a power play opportunity for the final 10 seconds as Drew Doughty taking the penalty there. Haven't seen special teams play too much just yet, although Sidney Crosby scored a power play goal to open up the scoring in this series. Face-off is won back by Mahoney, and a ripped, banking slap shot sends the puck all the way down, so that should do it. Quick steal and a shot right before the horn. That one dangerous, as Bacon was trying to go for a play. He didn't really have time to get the puck down the ice, but nearly handed Team Russia and Mahoney their 5th goal of the game. 1.2 to go. Quick shot opportunity perhaps for the tie-up and a win by Bacon. So a 4-2 final yet again makes this an 8-4 aggregate as we hit the halfway point in this series.
Halfway in, up by 4, you got to be happy. And this is what we've talked about previously. No garbage goals in these games. Mahoney was like, okay, I'm going to take advantage of that and put one more on the bank board for us. Go up 9-4. Luckily, didn't happen for Bacon and his side with Team Norway, but they've got quite a bit of work to do as they move into game number 3.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they respond. Larstow was never in the lead in game number 1. Trailed 1-0, tied it at 1. Was down 2-1, tied it at 2, and then ended up falling 4-2. And then in this situation, in that game, just Bacon, amazing start. And the great change in approach by Mahoney allowed them to not just tie things up, but to take the lead and extend that lead to pick up a huge win. Shots on goal in that game ended up being just separated by one, 17-16 in favor of Bacon. But the final score, 4-2, a huge one to make that an 8-4 aggregate. So we are halfway through this series, and as we mentioned, the winner of this series will face the winner of a series coming up later on today. That is Finland and Germany, who will be competing for the other semifinal spot on this side of the bracket.
Music on the brain, but it's hard to maintain with girls in the background. Yeah. Curly hair and her skin's brown. She got an A cup, but that batch round. So proceed. Dinner in the West End, cause there's no women Jen won't need. Hey, hey. Big girl like a Del Sol, man, I said fire to the rain when I roll deep.
Let me take you up a level. Let me take you.
Take it to it.
So we are now at the halfway point of this series between Team Russia and Team Norway, and that means we're going back to the PlayStation 4, where in game number 1 of our series, Sergey defeated Larsto by a score of 4-2. It was a 4-2 game in both games 1 and game 2. This one was a really competitive one, just back and forth until the later stages of the third period, Nick. So it'll be interesting to see what Larsto can do here to try to respond, because you've got to probably win this game to make sure that it is not a huge hole to crawl out of in game number 4.
No, I think 4 is kind of the maximum number that you can be down by at any given time in the series. Anything more than that, it's kind of insurmountable, at least from what we've seen through 8 matchups so far. We've seen a lot of hockey, a lot of coverage of a lot of games, and it doesn't bode well if you go down. So I haven't seen a team claw back from that unless they kept it within 3 or 4 goals. We have to see that here. Larsto needs to come back big here. And again, 3 periods to manage. So if you get 2 and they get 1, you're up, you're +1 in what you're trying to get back to. So I would say your game plan, if you're Larsto, get to level. Do whatever you can to get to level in the aggregate. Do not care about the result and play 1 period at a time to try to work and chip away at that lead.
Sergey, a really tough competitor to do that against. He scored 6 goals in the first game that he played in this tournament, 5 goals in the second. He gave up a total of 6 over that span as well. So it's going to be really difficult to try to score on him. But yeah, you just need to get at least a few goals, and you really also have to make sure you're playing solid defense, because you don't want the goals that you do score in this game to basically not count towards the aggregate. You're already down 4. You just can't afford to score 5 and give up 4 and end up as a -3 in the aggregate entering game number 4.
All that math.
There's a lot of math to be doing on a Tuesday morning here in Las Vegas, Nevada.
But we have
we are
hockey
getting
happening.
ready.
That's what's important
do.
now.
Absolutely, and now we are underway as Larsto's going to fall in that faceoff circle. Going up on your screen is Larsto in the blue for Team USA. Going down on your screen for this game is going to be Sergey in the white for Team Russia, playing as Team Canada. Played on ahead, and now into the offensive end is Sergey trying to set up for his first chance, but a nice job of stealing that puck away by Larsto and clearing the zone. Played back to neutral ice, and now up to Austin Matthews into the offensive end, but that long centering pass, well read, and a rush the other way. Maybe a 2-on-1. Centering feed is intercepted. Good job of back checking there by Larsto, making that play as Eichel now trying to center it for Matthews, but that one banked off of a defender and went a little wild. Matthews, a huge steal. Chance. Patrick Kane, he was trying to make the feed for Eichel, I think, and it went a little bit haywire. Long shot from Werenski goes on goal, and that one turned aside by Carey Price. I believe the first shot, or one of the first shots of this game, as we are now nearing 5 minutes gone by in period number 1. Banked behind the boards, behind the net rather. Not behind the boards, that would be out of play. That's silly. Pass up for Patrick Kane at neutral ice. Dumped back in, so Larso a chance to reset a little bit and try to move out of the zone. He does, up for Pacioretty. Good job to get around an attacker. Down low, that puck was in the slot. Could not generate a shot, but they still have possession. Up top, played down low yet again. Dylan Larkin in the corner, pressed. Not pinned, just pressed up against the boards. As Dylan Larkin again trying to go for that wraparound, but Sagan there to pick up the puck as it may have gone off the side of the net. Mark Scheifele in the offensive end now for Sergey. Behind the net. What can he do? Scheifele taken down. He may have been slashed on that play. That is going to be a penalty trip, rather, on that one. So a 2-minute power play chance for Sergey. He capitalized on the first power play chance he had way back in game number 1 to make that a 1-0 game. He did it right off the draw as Keith Yandel will sit for that tripping minor. We'll see what he can do here. If he can win it just straight back, Tyler Sagan, it's towards the center of the ice. So a decent positioning here. He does. Monahan, feed, banked off of the iron. Knew that was basically what he was going to try to do, win it to the point and the defenseman right at center ice, and then either take that shot or make the feed. He beat the goaltender. Monahan's shot redirected a little bit in front and wide. But boy, oh boy, Sergey nearly replicating what he did to open in game number 1 here in game number 3, but could not get it past the post. Now a rush in the offensive end. 40 seconds remaining on the power play chance. Back up top for Brent Burns with a little bit of space. The feed for McDavid, and it's in. Another power play goal to open the scoring here in game number 3 as Sergey has built his team's lead in the aggregate to 9-4.
Right before that penalty, I was going to give a lot of credit to Larsto, putting a lot of pressure on Sergey, putting him back in the defensive end a long period of time, and then takes that costly penalty. And that is the bullet. You don't want to be down by 5 here. A handful is probably too much. So you have to respond quickly here. And now I think you kind of throw this period away. You got to get to 1, tie it up, and then work on the next period where you chip away at the lead. You have to really control what you do here. And a penalty, that ain't it, Chief.
If you're looking at maybe a realistic, ideal situation, 1 goal per period from here on out, and a 3-1 win would cut that lead down to 2 in the aggregate, which is a very doable thing. But now that aggregate lead is continuing to go up. That is the wrong direction if you're Larsto, as Sergey has now made this a 2-0 game and a 10-4 series.
The double-digit number. It's always an interesting thing to see who gets that first. This time it is Team Russia. Continuing to put the pressure on Team Norway. Sergey with a great goal there, just all over the puck right now. Has some room, throws it in, and that's a good goal.
Beautifully done there, and just not letting off the gas. It is a 2-0 game just past the halfway point of period number 1. In the series that we covered in the opening round, it was game number 3 where the series got out of hand as that centering feed for Brent Burns was intercepted by Keith Yandel. And Gensel, and now into the offensive end, an opportunity here, trying to get on the board. Miller feed, Gensel knocks it in, and the Pittsburgh Penguin has this lead cut in half for this game.
Well, that's a response that kind of nets out the comes to zero of the last thing that we just saw, which was a great goal the other way. Great dish there. And as you mentioned, they're throwing it home, and that's just two guys down low by the circle. You don't want to have that happen. Nobody there to pick him up, and he just beat the defense with a great shot.
Beautiful back and forth, just tic-tac-toe and into the back of the net, beating Carey Price and getting his team on the board. So that is what you really needed in this position as Larstow, and now you can't afford to let off the gas for even a moment, because here, under 8 minutes to go in period number 1, you're still down by 1, as that is going to be an offside. That may have been one of those interesting offsides where it's kind of a spin, and if you have possession of the puck, but technically backing across the blue line, just registering that one as an offside. Great job in the faceoff circle. 4-1, now 4-2, as I point that out, for Sergey in this game. 7.5 to play here in the first period. Good forecheck there by Huberdeau, but Kessel getting right around him. Getting back in the offensive end is Larstow. Cross-ice pass is intercepted. And with 6.5 to go in this period, Sergey will move it in the offensive end. Monahan up top. Again, playing a forward in one of the defensive positions in this game, as Monahan, his pass is intercepted. Max Pacioretty moving the other way on the breakaway. What will he do? Manual control, but the rebound is knocked in. Sergey took control of Carey Price and made the initial save, but the rebound was right there, and Dylan Larkin tucking it in. And now this game is tied. We are back to that 4-goal aggregate deficit.
And that was interesting to see. That breakaway goal, I said to myself, he's got to score, right? He has to score. Carey Price, that's going to be Sergey taking control of the goalie, the smartest thing you can do on a breakaway, because it changes what the shooter is going to expect. Unfortunately, isn't able to cover it up. And Larstow does his job, puts the goal home. It just took a little bit more time to do it, and we're back square.
Kachuk with the quick wrister. That one blocked by Morgan Riley and cleared out of the zone up for Connor McDavid. Huge response by Larstow as Sergey tried to go for that rush, could not generate a shot. Now Kachuk backing into the zone, does so, still has the puck, but then it's poked away by Bergeron, and now Bergeron with possession trying to do a couple of spins up for Riley, and now way up towards neutral ice as McKinnon enters the offensive end. Well-positioned defense, but McKinnon gets a shot on goal, turned aside by Bishop, but that cross-ice feed for McDavid, a 5-goal combined period in this game, and Connor McDavid has his second of this period, and it's now a 3-2 game.
That's got to be deflating if you're Larstow. You do all this effort, you get back square, and then you just can't keep up with what's happening. McDavid from the hashes of the circle, just wide open too, and he throws that thing near side on his end, and it kind of just like squirts by the post there, Drew.
I've only got about 20 lines on my score sheet that I'm keeping here for this game. I may run out of space with the way this game is going so far. It is 3-2 with still some time to be played left here in period number 1. And again, Sergey starts with some pressure. Quick shot, that one blocked in the slot, never found its way through. Mitch Marner along the boards, now in the corner, pressed by Miller. Marner trying to wrap it around the backhander, and he twists it in. It's 4-2.
Well, this is going to be a very high-scoring game. It seems like a lot of back and forth, and I don't know at this point. I'm trying to figure out where the flow of the game is lying, and every time we turn around, Drew, it seems to be going back the other way, and it's kind of like the seesaw at this point. Who's going to score next? And that's not a good look if you're Larstow. It's great if you're Sergey for Team Russia.
Turn around every now and then, it get a little bit scory, and I don't know.
Copyrights, man. You can't do that.
Nope. I saw it. It was less than 3 seconds. That was enough. Also, parody rights. You're allowed to do that if it's in parody.
I like what you're doing here.
Weird Al has made a career off of that for like 30 or 40 years, and fantastically. But 4-2 here in the final minute of this first period. It is a 4-2 hockey game. Each team has scored in pairs as we have an icing with 8.3 seconds to go in the period. It was 2-0 in favor of Sergey, then 2-2, and now 4-2. 4-2, by the way, the final score of each of the first 2 games of this series. We're not even done with the first period as Jonathan Taves rips a wrister on goal, but that one blockered aside by Bishop and now played out. Final 1 second long shot taken and blocked by Brent Burns. So a 4-2 score in the period, and now a 12-6 aggregate with 5 periods left to play in this series.
This is not looking too great for Team Norway right now, but I have seen crazier things happen. If you can pick up, let's say, 2 to 3 goals here, you make it manageable, but it's an uphill battle no matter what happens with 4 periods to go in this aggregate series.
You can look at it in a couple of ways. You can look at it that you lost game 1 by 2, you lost game 2 by 2, and now you're down early here in game number 3 by 2 goals. And you could look at it that way. Or you could try to look at it and say, well, this is a situation where not only did Larstow score 2 goals in that first period, but we've seen Team Russia able to score 3 goals in a period back in period number 3 of game 2. They scored 4 goals in period number 1 of this game right here. It's doable to score multiple times in a period, but you've got to not just continue to score and pile on those goals, but you have to stop Sergey in this game somehow. You have to slow him down. You cannot give up. I don't know that you can afford to give up a goal a period, even if you're scoring relentlessly at this point. You kind of have to shut him down for the remainder of this game to try and keep it tight, and you've got to score at least 2 per period.
It's a lot of work ahead, but the teams are playing for pride. They're playing for their recognition for their country. And I can see the players doing that and getting a barrage of goals. We saw it here so far, but we'll have to see if Larstow can keep Sergey at bay.
McKinnon in the corner. Sergey trying to increase his lead even further. He's scored back-to-back goals to this point. It is a 4-2 game, and that long pass up was intercepted by Sergey right at the blue line. Now McKinnon dropping it off for Doughty as he got hit. Doughty gets just crushed. Legs going in all different directions. Jack Eichel, nice little spin move, centered for Pacioretty, back for Eichel, and a huge block by Sergey. Great defensive positioning.
That was a guaranteed goal, and he just put his player in the exact spot he had to be in to make that save and help out his goaltender.
We saw Larstow score a goal like that back in period number 1 of this game. And Sergey just wise to it that time. Scheifele in the offensive end. Back up top for Pietrangelo, and now Morgan Riley winds and fires on a slap shot, and it ends up going wide towards the boards. That long pass is out of reach and will go for an icing. 12:21 to go. That is a palindrome there. 12:21 on the clock here in period number 2. Look at that hit. Drew Doughty doing some yoga moves, I think, with that. Some banana splitsville on the ice. Ooh, and hurt as well. So losing Doughty for the at least for a little bit in this game. You might think for the remainder of this game. That is going to be a difficult one, considering Doughty has been a big part of the defensive play and the offense as well. But there, quick shot right off the faceoff, generating a rebound chance as well, but turned aside by Ben Bishop. Approaching 11 minutes left here in this middle period as the puck pushed on goal. Wraparound try, that one trying to go for the centering feed for Taves. Taves now down low, behind the net, just waiting for something to set up. Gives it to Stamkos. Now Stamkos behind the net, looking to wrap it and give it back for Taves, but well read and intercepted by Larstow. Opportunity and a big hit to end that chance in neutral ice. But here comes Sergey, re-entering the offensive end and just sending the puck in deep. 8.5 to play. Good board pin, and that will allow Larstow to pick things up and try to get it out of the zone. They do. Phil Kessel in the offensive end. What can he do? Kessel, spin, pass. Seth Jones, center, trying to get it back from Miller in the slot, but a good read and intercept, but Miller with the steal just inside the offensive end. Back for Miller, rips the wrister wide and off that NHL.com graphic on the boards. Now in the offensive end for Sergey. What will he do with it? Huberdeau, back behind, spins away from some pressure. Still under a lot of pressure is Jonathan Huberdeau. Sergey doing a good job of playing some keep away, splits the defense, forehand, and he scores! Jonathan Huberdeau has made this a 5-2 lead, and this game is in the complete control of Sergey.
Complete control. The whole series might be in complete control at this point, and that was just great skill stick work by Sergey. You saw him just waiting for it, and a lot of the players on Team USA, controlled by Larstow, just all over the place chasing the puck, and that's gonna be your downfall if you can't get a hold of your players, slow them down, and get in those lanes. And he just drove the net wide open, by the way. There was nobody in front of him. So that's going to be an easy goal once you get there. But getting there was the part that was impressive.
Really impressive. Yeah, just the ability the patience that it takes to pull off a play like that is absolutely incredible. So this is now a 5-2 game, and here yet again comes Sergey as Marner's shot is blocked and deflected towards the corner. Gensel entering the offensive end, going towards the boards. Nice little spin move there. Centering feed, and Miller rang it off the iron. That has to be tough when you're down 5-2 and you're hitting the post with your shot. You need every shot that you can get to try to beat Carey Price, and when you can beat him, and then it is the net itself that hurts you. But here's a chance, forehand, and that one with the huge hit may have forced that puck to just go straight towards Price as he makes the stop with 2:33 to go in the period.
And he had a lane there. It just quickly, the defense was able to get back there. Sergey just forcing everybody he can back towards the middle of the ice, cutting off half the options that Larsto had, and just puts it right into the breadbasket, if you will, of Carey Price.
Sergey on the rush will just swoop behind the net. On the backhand is Crosby with possession, still with possession. Plays it up for Morgan Riley, and now back for Crosby down low in the corner. Bank pass up for Riley. Great strategy here, just killing off a lot of clock on the one-time feed, Tyler Seguin, and this game is getting out of hand at 6-2.
6-2, great patience again. You saw that by Sergey, and he is in full command of this game right now. I don't think it looks too great for Larsto at this point.
And it's going to be a really difficult mountain to climb for Bacon in game number 4 of this series. 6-2 in the game, 14-6 in the aggregate. An 8-goal deficit seems insurmountable for one game, as it may be even bigger as a huge opportunity here to close out the period. McDavid, 4 seconds left, nice spin, puck in the slot, and Bishop will cover up for the whistle with 1.8 to go in the frame.
And I'm not really sure what you do here if you're Team Norway. I tried to figure that out when we called the game on Saturday too. When you're down by this much, what can you do other than play for your country?
You got to win the period at the very least. It's you got to look at it from a perspective of you have 4 periods to overcome this deficit. You've got to do your part. It seems highly unlikely, down 6-2 with 20 minutes left to play, that this game will end in Norway's favor. But if you can chip away at that lead, easier said than done given the way that Sergey has played in this contest. But if you can chip away at that lead and present your teammate, present Bacon a chance where if he plays a really solid game, which he's capable of, his semifinal game that he won to get into that finals for the opportunity to represent Norway, he won that one 10-0. He won the finals in that one 6-4. If you can put him in a position where 2 goals a period allows you to maybe force that golden goal overtime, you're doing all that you can. But here's a rush the other way early in the 3rd period by Sergey. Bergeron forced off the puck behind the net, and it started back out by Larsto. In the offensive end, Matthews down low, chance, backhanded on goal, and I think we're going to get a penalty shot.
I love penalty shots this time of year.
And Patrick Kane will be in control of it as well. So that is a player you'd love to have if you're Larsto. What will he do? Taking his time. A fake. Try to just drop it across, and getting across the crease was Sergey, who took control now and then from Price. He went back and forth with controlling and not controlling Price.
Yeah, and I think against an AI, that move will pretty much go in every time, but you've got to do a little bit something more when you're facing an actual player who can have the option to really make a move with the goaltender. That's just an unfortunate chance for Larsto. He couldn't bury it and close in on that gap, as you mentioned from before, Drew.
You could put that in the same column as shots off the post that, just things that, had they gone your way, this may be at least a different game in this situation. Here's a chance, one-time feed. That will do something. Phil Kessel getting on the board and at least starting to chip away at this lead for Team Russia.
Yeah, they had a great little rush there. 2-on-1 chance. Quick dish over across the net. Carey Price didn't poke check it. And it's in. 6-3 is your result here so far in the game. 14-7. You're down by 7. Seems like a lot of goals, but you got time left to make that a little bit smaller of a gap.
Again, if you can make that where 2 goals a period either gives your team, in game number 4, gives your team either a win or forces that golden goal, you might be able to do something. As Kessel tried to get it to Pacioretty, and it was well defended by Sergey as he's able to clear the zone. Scheifele in the offensive end. Now just standing along the boards, plays it back up top for Burns, D to D for Taves. That shot nearly leaving a juicy rebound, and Bishop just plays it right towards Tyler Seguin. Up top for Burns, centering himself. Circling back, Brent Burns trying to stay away from the pressure being put on him by Larstow, but lost possession of the puck. Larstow's going right in front of the blue paint, a dangerous thing to bring the puck right in front there, but now an opportunity for Larstow as Taves just delivers a huge hit as he tried to get towards the center of the ice. Could not get into the slot with possession. About halfway through this third period, a 6-3 game and a big lead in the aggregate in the series for Sergey and for Team Russia. Mahoney versus Bacon is next to wrap up the series. One-time feed for Huberdeau, loose on the rebound, then he hit the post. Kachuk going the other way, centering feed, back for Kachuk, and he scores! What a turn of events!
Well, that's a flurry you didn't really expect. Off the post, second time, in the way, and then you go back the other way and he scores. Like, is there life, Drew? I think there might be a little bit of hope.
Matthew Kachuk doing it, but yeah, that series of events is basically a +2 for Norway, because not only did Sergey hit the post where he had beaten Ben Bishop for a goal, could not capitalize, but immediately the puck goes the other way, and on that rush, Larstow gets on the board and cuts the lead to 6-4. Again, like I was saying, if you're in a position, if this score holds, it's a tall task for Bacon to do, but he would need to be +2 in each period of game 4 to force golden goal overtime.
Right, and that's that managing of the game we talk about, is how do you control that period, or maybe a half period. Okay, you look at it, you got to get +1 every 10 minutes. And if you can do that, I mean, it's possible. I've seen it happen. It's just when you got people scoring a lot of goals on the other side, it makes it that much harder to do.
We're seeing it happen in this third period. It is 2-0 in this period in favor of Larstow. Tried to spin with the puck towards the center of the ice, just could not keep the puck with him as we have under 7 minutes to go in this third period. Feed up for McDavid. Nice spin, centered for Bergeron. On the forehand, rips that shot, and that one kicked aside by Bishop. Matthews up for Besser, and now Kane will chase it down. Pursued by Monahan. Kane in the corner. Bumped off the puck, trying to get it back from Nathan McKinnon, but cannot do so. Good block by Austin Matthews, keeping it in the zone. Jack Eichel, feed for Kane. That shot goes on goal, but Price makes the save. I think that he was hoping Kane would have been able to corral and slow his momentum and kind of hold his spot on the faceoff dot. Under 4 minutes left to go in period number 3. A 2-goal lead in this game for Sergey. His team in white. That wraparound just pushed on goal, but Bishop kicking the left leg out to make the stop. Eichel up for Kane. Trying to get it back for Eichel, but that one read and intercepted as Sergey trying to move it out. That one pushed right on goal. A weird ricochet of the puck, but played up by Sergey yet again. Under 2 minutes to play in this game. Carlson for McDonough, and now Eichel. Knocked off the puck momentarily, staying on side. Eichel with some space for McDonough. Forehand shot, blockered away. Puck in the corner, now banked up ahead for Huberdeau. He's got a goal in this game. Jonathan Huberdeau, under 50 seconds to play in regulation time. Up top for Monahan, long shot taken. That rebound was juicy, but Ryan McDonough getting there to pick it up and clear it out. Max Pacioretty in the other end with the puck. Down low, behind the net. Pacioretty spins on the backhand, and it's turned aside by Carey Price. Under 30 seconds left in regulation time. Will this be a 2-goal game? Will it be extended? Could Larso chip away at it a little bit further? Taves up top, killing off some clock. Now towards the boards and trying to bank it in towards the corner. Huberdeau and now Taves moving with it, trying to center himself. 8 seconds left. He's going to just be satisfied holding the puck in the offensive end here and take that +2. Taves rips that wrister, generates the rebound, and Huberdeau's shot is turned aside. But the final score in the game remains 6-4 in favor of Russia, a 14-8 aggregate, and a tall hill to climb for Bacon in the final game of this series.
We've seen it a lot here. Smart players win games. Smart players control the game. And that was a great thing. I have to commend Sergey. You had all this chance. You could just keep driving the net, keep pouring goals on, but he kept it to the outside, made Larsto come get the puck, and that killed off about 45 seconds. And from what we've seen, that was probably enough time to get 1 and potentially 2 goals with what we've seen here in the games so far. He kept that at bay and was able to walk out here a +6 for his team. So Team Russia in a really good position with 3 periods, 1 game to go to walk on to the semifinals.
And if you're Bacon going into this last game, you've got to be +2 in every period in order to force golden goal overtime for the series. That is kind of what, if you're Norway, that's what you're striving for here. You would need a 6-0 win or better in order to pull that off. We will see what happens there. The winner of this series moves on to face the winner of Finland and Germany's series, and that series will be coming up in just a little bit later on in today's coverage.
On the brain, but it's hard to maintain with girls in the background. Yeah, curly hair and her skin's brown. She got an A cup, but that batch round. So I'll proceed. Dinner in the West End, 'cause there's no women Jen won't need. Hey, hey, girl like a Del Sol, man. I said fire to the rain when I roll deep.
Let me take you up a level. Let me take you up a level.
So there is 1 game remaining in our quarterfinal matchup here in the IIHF 2020 Esports Fan Championship between Team Russia and Team Norway. For Mahoney, it is about just preserving that lead. You do not have to win this game. You just cannot get blown out. If you're Bacon, you've got to score 2 every period, 2 more every period than your opponent does in this game. So it is going to be a difficult challenge for him. We did see him jump out to a 2-0 lead back in game number 2, and he held that lead at intermission. So you need a period, every period, like that first period back in game number 2.
Yeah, you do, and we have the action taking place right now. We'll see what he can do to get close You got to walk out, like you said, +2. Not just 2 goals, but 2 more than your opponent every period for 3 periods. This is going to be a true test for Bacon. It's going to be a good chance and showcase of discipline for Mahoney.
And we are now underway here in game number 4, the final game of this quarterfinal matchup, as Eichel will enter the zone, and now it's Patrick Kane, but losing possession. Again, in the white, playing as Team Canada, is Mahoney and Team Russia. In the dark blue, as Team USA, is Bacon for Team Norway. We'll see if the strategy changes at all for Mahoney versus the way that he played in their previous game. Long pass there results in a nice little delayed completion as Kessel chased it down, pushed it on goal, but Price made that stop. McDavid to Crosby, now up looking for, I believe that was Jonathan Huberdeau, but that one intercepted and moved the other way. Offensive end presence here for Bacon. Looking to get on the board first. Carlson winds and fires a shot, but it goes wide and against the boards. Crosby clears it up for McDavid. Mahoney in the offensive end now. Connor McDavid going towards the corner boards, trying to play it back for Doughty, but it went out of the zone as Patrice Bergeron was in the neutral zone going on the ice for that line change, and eventually leads to a turnover, now a neutralized battle. Bergeron in the offensive end, over 5 minutes gone by in this period. Morgan Riley up top. What will he do? Centers himself, tries to get that wrister on goal, but it never got more than a couple feet as it was blocked. Blake Wheeler, 2-on-1 chance. Tried to go for the pass. Great defense there by Mahoney, getting in the passing lane and shutting down that chance.
Yeah, it's a great back and forth action so far, and great defensive awareness for Mahoney to get back and stop that potential goal. It looked like a surefire goal, really. That's what he's got to do, slow everything down.
Wheeler entering the offensive end, trying to go for that backhand pass, perhaps spins away from Huberdeau. Feed for Werenski, and he scores!
And that's a great goal. It's early, and this puts Bacon on the board. He's now +1, and we'll keep that as a reminder for you probably as the game progresses here through the later stages.
It took less than 10 minutes. He got that +1. That is the pace you need to be on. Let's see if he can hold it. Let's see if he can build on it. That centering feed looking for Shabbat was a little off the mark and towards the corner. Pietrangelo up top, gets it down low. Martin trying to center that feed, but well read and intercepted, and Bacon moving out. Brock Besser, offensive end, trying to center it back for Larkin, but that one read and intercepted by Mahoney. Long pass up with Brad Marchand, the offensive end, and a huge hit. Absolutely bone rattling on that one. And another huge hit in neutral ice. The physical play, Bacon just stepping up his game. Entering the offensive end here now, and Pietrangelo with it under 8 minutes to go as he's knocked off the puck. A great job defensively so far in this game by Bacon as he enters the zone onside. Trying to get that little centering feed down low. Was looking for Pavelski. Pavelski does eventually scoop it up. Now behind the net, circling. What will he do with it? Pavelski poked by Taylor Hall, but gets away from it. Center for Tkachuk, and that shot goes on goal, but Price makes the save and hangs on. 6:17 to go.
Fast action, Bash Brother action also happening on the ice. And so far, it's still all Team Russia, but in this particular game, Bacon is on pace to tie it.
McDonough rips that shot very wide of the net, nearly generating a rebound chance, but able to clear it out is Mahoney. Bergeron on the offensive end, good poke check by Keith Yandel. Gets it from McDonough in the center of the ice, and he'll just skate it out straight up. Wheeler, offensive end. Blake Wheeler trying to center. Backhand feed towards the slot. Read and intercepted. That has not been there just yet. A weird way to get it out of the zone, but it worked, and now offside as Bergeron just did that little deke, and I believe Shifley across first.
Things look a little bit disheveled in the defensive zone for Mahoney right now, though. So if that pressure and that momentum continues to maintain, it might not be too good for him. But 4 minutes to go, he's still in great shape in period number 1.
Winning that faceoff is Bacon, and now he's in the offensive end one more time. Circling where is Pacioretty. Takes that wrist shot on goal. Price making the save and covering up. The former teammates with the Montreal Canadiens.
Former teammates and adversaries right now. I think if you're Bacon, having more faceoffs probably isn't a bad idea. Get the faceoffs in the offensive zone, win them, and try to put shots on.
Crosby winning that one back, though, for Mahoney. Unable to clear. Tkachuk with the intercept. Oh, he may have been... I don't know if he was looking for the pass or trying to just shoot it on goal and generate a rebound chance with that one, but it was off the mark. Did not go on goal and did not go to its intended recipient of the pass. McDavid in the offensive end, under 2 minutes to go. Banks it up. McKinnon back for McDavid. Down low, trying to go for that backhand sweep around. Picks it back up, though, on the loose puck. Minute left. McDavid up top. Doughty rips that shot. It goes wide. Rebound chance, and it's still loose. Where is it? It is in, but waved off.
Bishop looks to be sprawled out there. The puck's in. There's like 8 guys behind Bishop here, and I think it's going to be waved off just from a kick in. Yeah, it will be waved off indeed there, Drew. Good break there for Team Norway.
It's a break like that you're going to need, but here another rush for Mark Scheifele and a chance for Russia. That centering feed for Bergeron is intercepted. Final 5 seconds of this period. Can they capitalize? Can they get one more shot on goal? Centered! Kessel turned aside, and it's out of play with 2.2 to go.
You'll love to see it. I love the high-paced action there at the last 5 seconds. A high-speed slap shot goes out of play. A big crucial face-off here for Bacon.
Can Larkin win it back? No, Bergeron to Keith, and that will do it for period number 1. A +1 period for Bacon. He needed that pace of +2, so now he's down by 5 with 40 minutes left to play. So a little bit more work to do than even we thought going into this game, but he's up 1-0. It's doable. It's not easy, but it is something that is doable. He needs a big period, preferably here, but he needs a good period in each of the next 2. One of them has to be something special.
Need a superhuman effort here. I've seen grandmothers lift cars into the air. Can we have Bacon do the equivalent on the ice? I appreciate that reference. Sidney Crosby trying to get that tip in there down low, turned aside by Bishop, now trying to go for maybe a wrap, maybe trying to find a feed. McKinnon was down low, trying to get it across for McDavid, but intercepted by Eichel and cleared out of the zone. Crosby will re-enter the zone. Huge hit that Crosby takes right in front of his own bench. McDavid with the nice intercept, but that bank pass is going to go the length of the ice. That will be an icing with 16:25 to go here in the middle frame. And as you saw there, I'm sorry there, Drew, as you saw at the bottom left there, low energy, high fatigue right now for Mahoney's line that's currently on the ice. Let's see if he can take advantage, Bacon can, of that.
Tie up off the draw. Crosby will not come away with it. It's now Seth Jones up top. Good pressure from McKinnon. Jones spinning away from McKinnon, playing keep away from him and McDavid, but only momentarily. There's only so long you can keep the puck away from those two guys. McKinnon in the offensive end with some space, trying to set things up. I think he got a bit of a line change and now finally a full line change for Mahoney's team. Here comes Bacon the other way. Centered! Matthews dropped to the knee and could not get the shot to go. Werenski's long shot was tipped in front and turned aside by Carey Price. Scooped up yet again by Blake Wheeler. Centered. Werenski up top. Winds and fires. Blocker towards the corner. Big saves made here by Carey Price as Mahoney has relied on him in the last couple of minutes. Seth Jones. 12 minutes to go in the second. Brock Besser, offensive end. Could not get anything to go now, and it's Scheifele up for Bergeron in neutral ice. Circling away with it. Back for Scheifele. Nice little collision there as Yandel pushes him away from the puck and takes the puck away. Under 11 minutes to go. Chance down low. Price with a shoulder save. Nice collision as Huberdeau with the check on Gensel. Halfway through this contest, Mark Scheifele in the offensive end. Pocket picked. Brock Besser. Larkin. Gensel pushed off the puck. Besser trying to take it back. Shabbat with it. Up for Taves. And now in neutral ice, it's Yandel turning it over to Taves, and now a breakaway chance. Marchand trying to drop it in and could not. Big turnover though. Spin. Marchand pushes on goal, and Bishop reaches back to make the save. Pacioretty moving the other way. 7.5 to play in the second period. Running out of time is Bacon. Still 5 goals to make up in ground, but a trip and a power play is coming with 6:55 to go in the period.
Yeah, he's got a little bit of work here. He has to score here on this power play and then get one more, and that'll put him +3. He's got some work to do.
Chance for Kane from down low, and Price makes the save and covers up. Just 16 seconds used up so far in this power play. Face off again to the left of Carey Price. And again, for Eichel, that means if he wins it straight back, it goes towards the boards, and it does. Jones, Werenski, teammates with the Blue Jackets. Zach Werenski circling with it, trying to find some opening. Finds Patrick Kane. Kane, now trapped, gets it back for Werenski, who fires a slap shot right into some traffic. Eichel scooping up the loose puck, back for Werenski up top. Rister on goal. Price makes a save and swallows it up with 55 seconds to go on the PK for Mahoney.
Mahoney doing great work right now, keeping the play to the point. No room inside, no shooting lanes. That little wrister is not going to get by Carey Price, and not right now.
Matthews trying to win it towards center, goes for the tie-up. Yandel fires, but into a couple of bodies, and that one barely holds in the zone. Kessel for Yandel, trying to center. He was looking for Gensel cross ice, but a couple of players were in that lane for Mahoney, and he's able to not just clear, but get in the offensive end. Is a huge hit right along the boards. Final 8 seconds of this power play chance. Back to 5-on-5 now, but it's centered rebound. Chance was there, but Gensel, it was just Yandel down low, could not capitalize. Big penalty kill there for Mahoney as it remains a 1-0 game. Mahoney does not by any stretch have to win, but here a chance. Breaking in all alone to the forehand, and it's in, but again it's waved off.
A lot of wave-off goals here in this series here today, Drew. I don't know what happened there. Oh, it kicked in on the replay. Looks like it was kicked in by Taves, and that one is not going to count.
There have been a few breaks in this game, and they have gone Bacon's way, but still just a 1-0 lead, and entering this game, a 6-goal deficit to make up. Period number 2, rapidly coming towards a close. Patrick Kane in the offensive end with 2.5 to play. Good read and intercept by Sidney Crosby. 2-on-1 with Crosby and McDavid. Crosby, backhand shot, save is made by Bishop, trying to center it back from McDavid, and it's intercepted and moved out the other way. Phil Kessel moving in for Bacon. Centered, that one pushed on goal, but taken away by Duncan Keith and cleared out. McDavid with McKinnon on the forehand shot, and that one is blocked towards the corner. And another penalty taken, and again, a power play coming up for Bacon, and that, you can't do that in the offensive end when you're 175 feet from your own net.
No reason to take that penalty. It's dangerous if you do it, and luckily there, the face-off clears the zone. Mahoney in control here as we go offside, Drew, with 18.3 seconds to go. Mathematically looking at it, you're down by 5 going into the third period. That doesn't look good.
Minute 42 to go on this power play. It would have a lot of carryover into the third, assuming they cannot score in the next 10 seconds. But a nice steal by Bacon. Played in for Goudreau, trying to get one last opportunity on the slap shot. It's ripped well wide, and it winds all the way down to the other end. So that will do it for the second period. No scoring in the frame. It remains 1-0, and it remains a huge 14-9 advantage for Team Russia with 20 minutes left.
If we're a fan of drama, then if doing the math serves me correctly, we have 20 minutes. We're down by 5. A period is 5 real-time minutes with an extra minute at the end. You got to score every minute to get a chance to tie this game. I'm ready. I like drama.
Let's see if we get any here. Riley entering the offensive end while shorthanded. Centering feed for Taves, and his shot was denied by Ben Bishop. Good job to not just be able to win that center ice faceoff to begin this period while shorthanded, but to generate a shorthanded shot on goal. Turnover, collision at neutral ice. So even bigger shorthanded, or power play chance rather, for Bacon, but cannot get the shot just yet. Eichel with it. What will he do? Hesitates, takes the shot, and Price makes the stop. 2 seconds left on the man advantage for Team Norway. And a face-off coming to the left of Carey Price.
Something to be mindful of is the player coming out of the box if Mahoney does win the face-off, and he does.
Burns with it. Didn't try to make that home run pass. Just try to make that short pass, maybe catch him off guard, but that's center for Matthews. Now Matthews again, that wrister turned aside by Price. McDavid exits the zone, crosses the red line and passes to Scheifele. Drop for Tavares. On Tavares, backhander, and he scores. That is a tough one to give up for Bacon, as this game is now tied up here in the third period.
And that might have just about closed the door as he just kind of shovels that through the 5-hole, I think, on Ben Bishop. A known weak spot for Bishop.
Interesting play, and so many times in this game, Mahoney has beaten Bishop for a goal only to have it waved off. That one not coming off the scoreboard. It is now 1-1. More importantly, it is 15-9. And now it's just a matter of taking the time off the clock. Scheifele in the offensive corner, back for Shabbat, winds and fires. That one blockered towards the corner by Bishop and scooped up as Ryan Suter will play it up for Johnny Goudreau. Trying to rush. Goudreau taking that shot, blocked by Huberdeau. Still with possession. Steal in the offensive end, but taken right back. And now Huberdeau exits the zone and will just send it the length of the ice. Unfortunately, he had not taken the red line, so that is an icing with 14:54 to go in regulation.
I think here you're playing a little bit for pride. If you're Bacon, you want to definitely walk out with a win. If you're Mahoney, though, just throwing the puck in deep, killing off time, walking out with a big win. You got here off the back of a great previous 3 games, and just showcasing your skill here in this tournament late in the 3rd period.
Werenski with a couple poke checks gets it out of the zone, but then immediately taken right back by Mahoney. It is a 1-1 game, so I'm sure if you're Mahoney, you'd like to at least get a separation goal, break that tie in regulation time, just to be able to end this series in the 3rd period here. That centering pass cross ice was intercepted by Seth Jones and cleared to the zone. Kessel entering the offensive end. Bacon dropping it back for Werenski. Good poke check, and Nathan McKinnon, if he's got speed, and he does, breakaway chance. Nathan McKinnon fakes him out, trying to flip it over. The rebound was sitting there. Ben Bishop laying down. Great individual effort there by Bacon, taking control of the goaltender and sprawling down to make the save, because Nathan McKinnon, that beautiful flip attempt by Mahoney, just trying to drop it over top of him, nearly pulled that off.
Bishop came out with a sprawling diving poke check. I love that.
One-timer is on goal. Price makes the stop. 8:52 to go here in the 3rd period. Mathematically, it's still physically possible, but when it comes to being likely, that's a very different story.
I don't know the win probability on this, Drew, but it can't be much more than about 1.5%.
I would probably say even lower than that. We're looking at maybe 3 real-time minutes from this point until the conclusion of this game. And 6 goals need to be made up in the aggregate. Gensel, feed for Larkin. There's one. Bacon back on the board.
There is one indeed, Drew. That's a good start, and we have to see what can come of that. I don't ever want to say that's all she wrote. We've seen crazier things happen here in esports, but it's going to be tough for Bacon to roll up 5 more.
There is still a little bit of time left, but, as you said, incredibly difficult. 10 goals would be tied for the 3rd most scored by a losing team so far in this tournament. That's where we sit now, tying them with Switzerland, who Norway beat in the last round, as well as Italy, who was blown out by Sweden 28-10. And as I mentioned going into this one, both players on Team Russia undefeated so far in international in this tournament play. Quick wrister, that one hits an iron. Another shot that probably could have, should have gone in for Mahoney in this game and just did not go.
Not a lot of puck luck for Mahoney right now.
No, this game could very easily be 5-2 if the goals that were waved off counted and the ones that hit the iron go bar down and in. Mahoney trying to maybe tie things up in this contest, keep his undefeated international competition in this tournament record intact. 2 minutes, 30 seconds left as the puck is out of the zone and Kessel is tripped. So a power play for most of the remainder of this game is coming up for Bacon.
Similar to when a goalie has a shutout, you're down 5-0, you want to kind of break that shutout. So I think for Bacon here, you just want to try to win the game, break that undefeated streak that you did mention to just a little bit ago, Drew.
Puck put on goal, but Price will play it out as 30 seconds already gone by in the power play chance for Bacon. You could also look at it from one perspective. If Bacon is able to score one more, and pick up a 3-1 victory, he would end this matchup even, ±0. So if you're looking for a point of pride for this matchup, that would be one way to look at it. If you could pick up a win regardless, you go 1-1 in the round, that would be something to certainly be proud of as well. Taves in the offensive end, shorthanded. Feed for Pietrangelo. His shot gets blocked. Rebound sits loose. Stamkos tried to feed it across, but it went harmlessly towards the boards. Jack Eichel in the offensive end, still 12 seconds left on the power play, and they score! Johnny Gaudreau has the power play goal. And now, Bacon and Mahoney are an even 5-5 for their portion of this series.
Bacon did his job. Mahoney can't be too happy about that, knowing that he's going to lose a game here in international play in this particular tournament that we have in front of us. But Bacon putting on a show, putting up a fight, and I have to give a lot of credit to that. When you look at the score and you see that it's down, it's hard to want to continue to just play, but he's obviously representing two of the best players in his country in this tournament, and you have to be proud of the result that you put out on the ice today.
Matthews with the chance down low here, trying to center it, but lost possession of the puck. If we do have a goal in the final 26 seconds, it would determine who would be the winner of this Xbox version of Norway versus Russia. 18 seconds left. Gaudreau in the offensive end. Back for Matthews. Wrister right in the glove of Carey Price. Exiting the zone, Scheifele. Final 8 seconds. Banks it off the boards. Austin Matthews will enter the zone offensively. This game is going to end in favor of Norway, but the series belongs to Team Russia. A 3-1 final in the game, but a 15-11 final victory for Team Russia as they advance to the semifinals of the IIHF 2020 Esports Fan Championship, as they will take on the winner of Finland and Germany. What a performance in this series by the Russian team with Mahoney and with Sergei just across this entire series.
As we head back into the studio, we look at the final scores there, the final matchup score as well. A very hard-fought battle by Bacon to come back and get into that lead, only losing by 4 goals in the aggregate. And congratulations, though, hands down, great victory to Mahoney and Sergei and Team Russia as they move on to the semifinals. I'm really excited for both of those men.
They are going to be an incredibly difficult team to beat. They've got 2 more rounds to go. Next up is the semifinals. As we mentioned, they'll play the winner of the matchup that is coming up next, Finland and Germany. And the winner of that playing for the IIHF 2020 Esports Fan Championship. The way they've been playing, it's going to be tough to knock them out in this situation. 8 total individual games and only 1 loss across all of that. And just domination when it comes to the total aggregate score for them in this tournament thus far. So a fantastic game, a great job there by Bacon. Want to give him some credit as well. And a good season as well to Larsto. He had a win in the opening round. He contributed there. He had a really good matchup to open up this series that we saw earlier on. And obviously, you can hold your head up high. Best PlayStation 4 player in your home country. You helped your team in round number 2, and you helped keep it competitive for the first half of this series as well. So kudos to the team from Norway, Team Russia, the ones moving on. And Nick, just your thoughts here, because Team Russia, they're just so talented when they get going and they get things working. And with that 4th game too, they knew going in. Mahoney knew going into that game he didn't have to win. He didn't have to do anything but not get blown out.
Yeah, if we make another sports reference here in American football, it's the 4th quarter and you're up by 3 scores. You're not going to do too much other than run the ball and run the clock out. He did a lot of that there, but nevertheless, a heck of a performance in the second game to go up 4-2, extend that lead a little bit more, and kind of build upon the success that he had. And he was able to change up a lot of what he was doing in response to what Bacon was doing. And that was really fun to see, that inner period shift in focus, some strategy shifting and kind of adjusting what he does to have more success. And he obviously came out on top for his team in this series.
Drew Goldfarb and Nick DeMeo with you. We have been with you for this broadcast call. Finland, Germany is coming up, but we do have more to come before we wrap things up for our portion of today's coverage. Nick, why don't you tell the good folks that are watching what more we've got before we switch over to Finland and Germany?
Absolutely. In just a little bit, we'll be talking to some of the players from today's matchup. So we'll look at the other side from Team Norway, talk to Larsto about his unfortunate loss, and then we'll be talking to Sergey and about his team about victory. So do not go anywhere. This is the 2020 IIHF Esports Fan Championship.
On the brain, but it's hard to maintain with girls in the background. Yeah, curly hair and her skin's brown. She got an A cup, but that batch round. So I'll proceed. Dinner in the West End, 'cause there's no women Jen won't need. Hey, hey, big girl like a Del Sol, man. I said fire to the rain when I roll deep.
Let me take you up a level. Let me take you up a level.
And welcome back to continue coverage of the IIHF 2020 Esports Fan Championship. Nick DeMeo, aka F5 Penguin, alongside here. We're speaking to Larsto from Team Norway. Larsto, thanks for making some time today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So let's talk a little bit about, unfortunately, the elephant in the room, so to speak, the loss here to Team Russia. Kind of walk us through what happened on your game. You had a really good start, 4-2 loss, nevertheless, but then kind of things did not go your way there in Game 3.
Yeah, well, we knew going into the games that it was going to be hard. Of course, I knew Surge from before, so I expected it to be hard. And we talked a little about it, me and Bacon, and we thought that, well, our biggest chances might be in the Xbox games. My job was kind of to keep it as close as possible, I guess. Unfortunately, I couldn't do it. It would be nice to snag a game as well, but well, he's strong, isn't he? He kept the puck a lot. I kept running around, and in the end there, I feel like I kind of understood what to do defensively, but that was kind of in the third period in the last game. So then it's a little bit too late. I knew I could score on my chances, but defensively, I'm not strong enough defensively yet. So congratulations to Russia, and it's been very fun to be here.
And speaking of fun, how fun was it to represent your country on the PlayStation side all the way up to the quarterfinals? I mean, you went through qualifying, you went through the round of 16, and you made it this far. So that must say a lot about your skill and your pride for what you've accomplished so far.
It's been a lot of fun. I usually never play online versus. I only play IIHF, so I have a lot to learn still. And I just tried to play as well as I could in the Norwegian qualifiers. I didn't expect to be here, so it's been a hell of a ride. So it's been a lot of fun. Obviously proud, and hopefully I can build on this and become a better player as well. I'm very proud of Bacon. Bacon did a great job in the last game. As you said, Bacon was sizzling. Unfortunately, not enough today, but it's been a lot of fun.
That's yeah, definitely. Bacon was sizzling, and he played a heck of a series as well. You
Absolutely.
mentioned you're a sixes player primarily. I understand that as well as one who calls a lot of EISHL games. What's the hardest thing for you in transitioning from the 6v6 to 1v1?
Well, for me, it's controlling the AI and maybe switching players. I'm horrible at switching to the correct players at the correct time. The AI runs around a bit. I'm not all set on my strategies yet. I have a lot to learn. And obviously scoring the one-timers, and you saw Serge there going behind the net, the wraparound like 4 or 5 times. I just couldn't stop him, right? So, yeah, I have a lot to learn all over, I guess.
Practice makes perfect for sure. So now that you're going to be sitting back watching the rest of the coverage, who is going to be your favorite matchup to watch? Maybe who do you have in the finals?
I've got Sweden, Finland in the finals.
Sweden, Finland in the finals. And who's going to come out on top for you?
Yeah, I'm sorry to say, I think Finland's going to win. I know a lot of Swedish guys. I've played with a lot of Swedish guys, so I'm rooting for Sweden. But Finland's just so strong. So I believe Finland's going to win. I'm almost a little bit happy that we don't have to play him in the semifinals. So, but then again, Serge was so strong. Yeah, I think he can get the result actually in one of the games at least. So we'll see.
We will see indeed. Well, Larsto, again, thank you so much for your time. Unfortunate break for you, but heck of a performance up to this point, and it was a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
We'll be right back. Good stuff, man. Thank you. Continuing, IIHF 2020 Esports Fan Championship coverage continues here today. And of course, I'm here joined, very thankfully to be joined by Sergey here. Thank you so much for making some time today. And obviously, congratulations on your win here today in the series.
Yeah, thank you very much, Pink. That was a pleasure to play against the Norway. Larso was this really good guy. I mean, like he's doing really well on defense and his counterattacks. Oh my god, that was fucking pleasure. Oh, sorry, sorry for my French. It was ridiculously good. It was ridiculously good to play against these guys. Really high level, really high level. I was expecting even more, but my expectations were wrong. Luckily.
Well, that's okay. Nevertheless, you did. I saw a couple of times where you had to kind of change what you were doing because of what Larsto was doing to you. So, kind of talk a little bit about how you kind of adjusted your play style to make sure you came out with a victory today.
Well, when I secured that I have enough goals to give my team a lead, I decided to play less for the defenders because I understood really well that he will try to counterattack me. First of all, I tried to cut him with my defenders, so he will push me and I will go easily behind the net. You saw that I had like a couple of the glitch goals, and they were actually not that bad. I mean, for the glitch goals, of course. So my plan was first to get some goals by taking him to my defenders, and then go behind the net and create some really good chances. But then I stay behind the net to keep the puck, to play the time, to not let my opponent score, and maybe try to score some my own goals. So the plan was working, and gladly we are fast to play against Finland or Germany.
Yeah, the Finland or Germany coming up, another great matchup. Who are you more concerned to play against out of that matchup?
I would love to play against Germany because there is no Eki, but I think that Finland will come through. Even though Timasi is really insane and he's a legend of this game from Team Germany on PS4. I love this guy. He's really good in this game. And Rota, I didn't play against him, I guess, in my career, but I saw him a couple of times playing against my friends, and this is a really good player. I think PS4 has the strong in EU players.
Yeah,
EU.
PS4
Sorry.
Europe, definitely. That's why Eki moved over to the Xbox, because not a lot of talent on the Xbox for his country. Talk about countries. How great was it so far playing for your country and representing Team Russia here in this tournament?
I mean, I got like 100 plus followers on my group in Russian social media, so I'm more than happy about it.
That's exciting.
But it's actually a honor because I am the one of the two people who represent Russia in like such a big community. I feel like I must do better every game. Even if I win, I feel like, oh no, I was supposed to do it better.
Well, you did really great in the matchup here today, and it moved your team on to the semifinals. So big congratulations for you, Sergey, and thanks again for making some time today.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you very much.
All right, we'll be right
See
back.
See you guys one day.
So great to see that conversation with both of those guys, Larso and Sergey, really great competitors, both of them. It is Team Russia moving on to the next round. And as was discussed, they're playing either Finland or Germany. When it comes to whoever wins that series, they will also advance to the semifinals to take on Team Russia. You heard from Larso. He thinks it's going to be Finland coming out of his side of the bracket, Sweden from the other. I also want to take the opportunity to point out that he liked the version bacon sizzling better than the hashtag option that you had provided. So I'm going to check that off as a win for me, Nick, on that one, since he mentioned the bacon sizzling thing. So I just like that. I had to mention it. So, that worked. And I did really like what Sergey said. I really liked that he said towards the end of your conversation with him, even if I win, I'm thinking to myself, I need to do better. And that kind of showed from game 1 to game 3 for him, the first, the 2 games that he played in the series, because he would never really had separation in game 1 until the very end. He scored 2 goals to break the tie and then to extend his lead in period number 3 of game 1. But in game 3, 4 straight, he at one point held a 6-2 lead in that game. So that competitive nature where he's going, I won, yeah, and we're up by 4 goals in the aggregate, sure, but I need to do better. That is a really remarkable amount of competitiveness that he showed just kind of through that statement. And it kind of shows why Russia's going to be so difficult to deal with, even if they do end up playing a team like Finland that Larsto believes could be championship bound.
Yeah, it's a mark of a true champion, a true competitor. When you look at your game and go, okay, how else can I get better? I remember a story of Kobe Bryant after a game where he had a loss. He would go to the arena and shoot 300, 400 free throws and just be that much better than what he came into the game with. Work on that one thing that you struggled with potentially in competition. Obviously, very rarely in a game of this high level are you going to get a shutout or a one, keep them to 1 goal. But nevertheless, you can work on getting as close as you can to that level of perfection. And my hat is certainly off to Sergey for not only joining us and showing us his crazy good French skills, but more importantly, being so proud to just constantly want to improve and do better, not only for him, but for his entire country.
Absolutely. So it'll be interesting to see what he is able to do along with his teammate going on to the next round. So it'll be Sergey and Mahoney waiting to find out who it is that they're going up against head-to-head for a spot in the finals of this tournament, the IIHF 2020 Esports Fan Championship. They'll find out in just a little bit who it is that they're going up against, because it's Finland, Germany. That is coming up in just a little while. The winner of that will take on Team Russia for a spot in the finals. So, Nick, before we wrap things up, just anything you want to kind of to say to point out, because it's been great to be able to do another broadcast with you. I'm looking forward to doing one tomorrow, because we'll be taking part in another set of broadcasts tomorrow night for a great game that should be between Canada and Slovakia to close out the quarterfinal round.
Well, that's what I was going to mention of why I'm so excited to be working with you through another great coverage. Nevertheless, though, yeah, like you said, Finland, Germany here in just a little bit, with some great coverage for you on a multitude of different ways to do that. So, like, looking at today in the matchup, we have Cam, No Sleeves Halbert, obviously calling the English matchup. If you are Finnish, we have Osku and Verda. I love Verda. I called my first ECL game with Verda.
Wow.
Amazing person. And of course, Bloody LP, Alexander Blattman in the German call. So if you are of any of those languages and you want the hometown feel, make sure you continue to follow IIHF all over the web and on the website, !info in the chat, so you can make sure you get the best feed that you want. And then, yeah, of course, tomorrow it's going to be a fun one, Drew, as we close out the quarterfinals with Canada taking on Slovakia. And that one is going to be one heck of a matchup, too. I can't wait to see how this all shakes out for the semifinals.
So excited to see how that goes. We saw Canada play the U.S. in round number 1 in the round of 16, so they managed to move through in that. It'll be interesting to see what teams they select. That's always the interesting thing as well with the way this tournament is built, because Canada played as Canada against Team USA as Canada in that round of 16. So they can't pick Team Canada again. It'll be interesting to see kind of which team they decide to go with, who Slovakia goes with, and of course, that's all tomorrow. We've got 2 more series before we get to our coverage of that is coming up in about 24 and a half hours from now. That coverage will begin with Nick DeMeo and myself, Drew Goldfarb. So make sure you tune in for Finland and Germany. That is coming up in just a little bit. Plenty of options for you to watch that broadcast on Twitch, online, on the stream. Make sure you check it out on the IIHF's website as well. He's Nick DeMeo. I am Drew Goldfarb. Thank you so much for joining us for this broadcast. We will see you tomorrow night for our coverage, or tomorrow afternoon for me here in Las Vegas, for Canada and Slovakia. Make sure you tune in to Finland and Germany coming up in just a little bit. Stay safe and stay healthy.
Take it to you.